Hello everybody and welcome to another qualifier weekend fun day Sunday. We've got the EU Combine Open Qualifiers number 2. We had one yesterday and it's going to be really fun. I've just realized I have some audio issues, but they're fine. We're going to sort that in a bit. Let's bring in our special guest for today because he is a wonderful young chap and one of my dear friends. This is of course none other than Artifacts Warden. Hello Warden, how you doing, my mate?
Hey, yeah, I'm doing not too bad this weekend, Jerry. What about yourself?
I'm good. I'm very hot. I've got the aircon going in the background, which I need to turn off. So let me just do that because it makes some noise that I don't want it to do. Already, we've ruined the illusion of professionality that I've tried to set up here. But
We've been professional.
We can pretend we were.
I was going to say, I don't think that's in my dictionary. I'll be honest.
Well, is the word map ban in your dictionary?
It is actually.
Okay, good, because I'm about to tell you that we're going to the map bans. So here we go. We'll have a look at the map bans for this game. It's Done Limited versus Team Valor. We are jumping in right on the quarter-finals of this second Open Qualifier. And I know it says Open Qualifier number 1 down the bottom. That's just because I'm a big dum-dum. We'll deal with that later. We can see the bans come through. It is Valor opting to, well, having to ban first. So Bank and Theme Park and Clubhouse removed by them. So far, Oregon, Chalet, and Border out of the picture for Done Limited. So we head to the last 3. Skyscraper banned out by Team Valor. So what will Done Limited effectively pick? It's Cafe as the final ban. Funny that, they went there yesterday against Team Valor and got absolutely slaughtered 7-2. Decide on a different battleground for today. It's Villa.
I'm excited to see them go back to Villa because I recently cast them in Vivid League on that map, and they had a bit of a interesting time, to say the least, against one of the teams in there, the Arctic Wolves. But I'm really interested to see how they attack it against a rival team of a similar sort of standard. So I'm really, I'm excited for this game. I'm raring.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one, and we have to go into this with that, of course, that asterisk around the whole thing, that really Valor are kind of, at this point, even after just one day, solid favourites. Winning the whole thing yesterday, looking like sort of head and shoulders above the rest of the bracket in terms of the quality of gameplay and the unity of team play that they are bringing out. Done Limited, on the other hand, have been a little bit shaky. They just come off the back of an 8-7 victory over Blue Jays on Chalet. A very exciting game, but certainly not the way they want to progress. If they're thinking anything about their sort of stamina for the day. It's a long old day. These teams started playing a good 6 hours ago now, and it's not the end just yet.
Not just yet. We're going to get right on into Villa this time. And what do you think to the bans, Jerry? Because I think they're pretty standard for Villa these days.
Yeah, there's not too much to add to the fact that they're powerful operators on the defense being removed, 2 of the major trifecta, and then 2 of the strongest attackers in the game right now with Nook and Dokkaebi. They're just leveling the playing field a little bit, bringing down the power level overall on both sides, and it means that other sort of niche operators will come into the fore at the very start of things, such as that Brava, such as the Capital. Interesting pair of picks on Done Limited's side. I will be very excited to see how they leverage the Capital. Not a common operator to bring on an AVG attack, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I am as well, but what is really exciting me personally is the Brava usage. I want to see how Hypex is going to be able to use those Brava drones, and if it's actually as a direct counter to the Fenrir being brought. Because I myself often use Brava. When I see there's a Fenrir on the board, I'll pick up Brava and I'll go, okay, I'm going to use this to clear those choke points, because that's a really major thing to do. Clear those choke points, steal a few cams, you actually set yourself up pretty well. So Hypex is definitely going to be the one to look for, in my opinion, just to see how they use that utility.
There's a variety of problems that Team Valor are presenting here, with a good spread of utility across the board in terms of like intel gathering, intel denial, catching, ability to sort of fight back through the chaos that Warden, of course, brings, and Rise will be donning that operator for the time being. Certainly keep an eye on him as this game progresses, because he's been really let loose over the past few days in these matches for Team Valor. He's not the sort of sit back on a donut and command the whole of Wolves type Rise. This guy actually gets his oar stuck into the action a lot of the time now. But Skyper is another one of those players who will get his oar in if he can manage it. He's looking for this early kill. Already sent 1 frag grenade. Trying to get another, but it doesn't look like it's being paired with any active intel, so it won't collect anything. Bit of a missed opportunity there, if you ask me, from Dunlimited.
Yeah, but he might actually get the kill here if he sees him in the right moment. Instead, it's actually Rice who manages to see him through the floorboards. Interesting that he didn't use the 1.5 for that engagement, but, well, he obviously clearly didn't need it if you got the absolute buzzsaw that is the SMG-12. Hypex is going to entry on in, look to take control of the statue side and probably maybe look to use those drones. Jax is going to be able to find another one onto Eevee, so it's looking pretty good for Team Valor so far. They've delayed quite a bit of time. Hypex is even coming under some pressure from, I think it was 90 way, with Rykos managed to get another one onto Rorik. I think Valor is squarely, firmly in the position of control in round 1.
Hypox has a lot to do here in the 1 versus 4. It's looking very unlikely. This is a tough site to tackle at the best of times, even with a few men on your side, but up against these crossfires, still a shield on that map, and a couple of players just happily swinging the wall. Jax with a long arm there, tosses it all the way towards Hypox. A great end to the round for Team Valor, and an easy one to collect at the very start of things. Not the most exciting one, but they did their darndest, and they got the round very comfortably.
They did. I was really impressed with how they managed to quickly pick up those kills, secure it, and then put themselves in a dominating position. Dunlimited looked a little bit, I want to say, tentative. Like, just feeling the waters. Maybe they're a little bit, coming off that last match, which got into overtime. A little bit, tired, a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for?
Lackadaisical. It might not have been the word.
I've never even heard that one before, Jerry.
It might not have been the word you were looking for, but it's the word you've got.
Tell you what, it's definitely a good one to use. But yeah, they're looking a bit tired. They're looking a little bit lax. Maybe they just want to take it easy this game. Just feel the waters first, and then look to press those adaptations. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to give them some more time, because I don't think 1 round is enough. And we're going to see actually that instead of the Bravo being brought this time, we're going to see the Twitch brought instead.
Yeah, slightly more permanent solution in some ways, or well, a more lethal solution to dealing with any of that gadgetry that's laid around the map. We don't care about turning it to our side. Just get rid of it. That's what the Twitch does. Old fashioned.
Have you seen whose Rise is playing?
Oh boy, it is the Doc. Expect a few spawn peaks here, potentially.
Yeah, I think obviously you've been talking about the reborn man that is tier 2 swinging Rise. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see if he goes absolutely insane on the Doc. I'd really like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who obviously very, very talented and has had his role within Wolves in the past, and now just has a bit more of a free reign, like we say. I can't wait for him to finally flex that. Obviously, we only saw the 1 kill from him last round. It was a pretty key one. I mean, that reverse engagement onto Skyper down the bottom floor. But we've seen more flashy plays from him already, just over the course of yesterday. We also had, I believe, the only 2 aces we saw yesterday were one apiece from Skies and Jax. So Team Valor have already shown, they've got a bit of flair in them. Those 2, definitely the other 2 to watch out. Neko and Rykos doing, just what they need to. They haven't been disappointing at all. They've been just overshadowed.
What I really want to see from Dunlimited this time is them actually pair up some information with those nades below. We've got Skipper in actually a really good position to start nading out people from below, but now it's got to be paired up with the information. We've got Lion Ping quickly brought out just to maybe give him some help. Here we go. First nade goes sailing on through. Doesn't do anything, annoyingly. No chip damage. Instead, Rykos is hiding just in the shower cubicle. No damage through the floor onto him just yet. Second one's going to get used now. Hopefully going for, I think, Rise of Wolves, but again, sorry, formerly of Wolves, but he's managed to jog away just merrily in time. Those 2 nades not going to get anything, and Rorik's the only one with any sort of nade utility left.
That felt like a moment of Spidey sense from Rise, really. He moved at just the perfect moment. And we see a little bit of aggression come out from Dunlimited. Finally, Skyper actually claims the first kill. We didn't see that, but onto Rise around those Astra stairs. Most likely up the hatch onto that Doc, dealing with the Fenrir mine. But now, of course, with Rise removed, no one to capitalize it. And it looks like that go button is about to be pressed by Dunlimited. They are teetering on the edge of an execute here, Warden.
They are. It's going to be going quick when they do decide to send. Skies just quickly managing to find the headshot onto Skipper. They've managed to rebalance it and fend themselves off for a little bit of time. But Unlimited really have to think about going. They've only got 35 seconds. Jax is still in a really good position to assist his comrades in the toilet with a swing. However, Naku's managed to find another one onto Hypex, so really stalling out Unlimited. Evie managed to send him on through a window, but unfortunately meets some more bullets alongside Nordwind, which means it's all left to Rurik with 15 seconds left, and he's got to send himself up Astro stairs pretty sharpish and find 4 members, but I don't think it's going to happen, Jerry. I think Team Valor have managed to secure themselves another confident round here.
Yeah, they absolutely have. There's just no stopping them right now. That was excellent. I loved how fluid they looked, playing in and around the bathroom, in and around those the sort of triple wall in master bedroom. They didn't give up that ground easily. The whole strategy from Dunlimited was to empty out those 2 positions, and they couldn't. They simply could not do it. Not from beneath, not from the windows, not with any sort of sight lines created by hard breach. Valor always found those pockets of space that allowed them to survive and create damage as well. They got kills from those positions, no less. So, very impressed with how steadfast Valor were in those situations. But you have to say that Dunlimited, they aren't at 100%. There are situations, again, we saw in that round where nades from beneath are not coupled with intel. They're not coupled with a lion scan. They're not coupled with effective drone work or any, sort of maybe even direct contention from window peaks or what have you, just to confirm those locations. It feels like they're lacking in that lethality, and that's costing them the rounds when it comes down to those executes, because Valor are just holding their nerve and playing so perfectly, so perfectly for this level.
And we actually talked about this before we actually started casting and watching the previous match. We've said that Dunlimited look to have lost a little bit of venom, lost a few teeth maybe. They just don't look like the same team that we expect from them from previous performances.
They won Challenger League, right?
We weren't sure if it's just because they're taking it easy, they may be saving, strats or something along those lines, like they're just not taking it as serious. I can't think of a reason as to why they would have lost those teeth, where the venom has gone. I don't understand, and I don't know, but they still can show that they have got some bite when they want to. It's just, I would say, not as consistent as we've previously seen.
The thing is with Unlimited, this roster over the past year or so, they've shown that sometimes that is the way. They don't spend themselves in the early stages of a competition. They're not so great at managing rounds individually, but they're excellent at managing a tournament in a sense. They can make their way through a tournament, save some gas for later, and then put the foot down when it really matters. That's how they won Challenger League. It was almost a surprise to a lot of people, but we saw the performances as they went through, and we're saying, yes, they can win it at the end of the day. But they are showing some, basic errors at the start. Missing those counter barricades with the nades. This early kill coming through from Skyper, immediately countered by Jax ratting inside of Library. That's not what Dunlimited want to see. Jax gathers another from this position as he's created a maze down here on this bottom floor, and Dunlimited cannot navigate it. They are just walking into their demise here. Finally, Eerie cleans him up.
Yeah, and a good cleanup on the left, quickly followed by Skipper onto Skies as well. So now there's only 2 remaining members on Team Valor, so they've got left to defend the site. And I would say they're in a pretty decent position. They've still got the smoke left on the board to try and delay some time. Yana Cone quickly gets zapped back through into Yana, so they've still got a minute left as well to clear out time here at Unlimited. So I think we might be able to see if they take their time and they actually use this Brava drone, take the time and use that Brava drone effectively. We might see Dunlimited pick up their first round, and especially I want to see Evie just send themselves on through and prove themselves to be the demon that I know they can be when they are given this R4C.
Yeah, there's plenty of powerful weaponry as well on the remainder of the Dunlimited lineup. A C4 sent out by Nako. It's not shot in time by Skyper, and he will fall to it, evening the man count in a 2 versus 2, and you still have a Toxic Babe to lock out one of those channels. Nako takes down Iwi as well, takes a lot of flack from Hypox, but now in this 1 versus 2 situation, it is all on the Brava to do the dirty work. Takes a lot of flack, has no idea even from where that was, and now has to hunt round. He's blind peeking all of these corners. We see Nako has safely evacuated to that kitchen position, and his teammate the Smoke always on the tail end of that, ready to scarper upstairs and play any sort of post plant position. Valor just look like they're in control all the time. Even in the 2 versus 3, they managed to turn it around.
That was well played by Valor, and I think, again, a little bit of discombobulation maybe coming through from Dunlimited in terms of the timing and the setup for that. We saw, I think, people send themselves in a little bit 1 versus 1, and when you give, a player one after one, it can be very difficult to actually kind of not let that situation run away from you. So, a little bit disappointed Dunlimited weren't able to take that round, but again, another confident display from Valor, further proving how deadly this team can actually be.
It really is just a case of like the control throughout the round as well. Like they really never felt like they were lost in that, even at the man disadvantage. I know I said it earlier, but that is Valor through and through. That is what we have seen for the past 2 days, is that they are cool, calm, and collected. If they have to make a play, they will go and make it. They will be the makers of their own destiny. They're not just going to let a round happen to them. And that is why they've been so successful so far this tournament, and they're continuing to be successful in today's bracket as well. 3-0 up against Dunlimited. It is the defensive half of Villa. That is maybe the one asterisk we can place on that point. Dunlimited are certainly not out for the count, and first 3 rounds, a lot of the time, they do go the defensive way, and then you see the attackers turn it round, read into the setups, adapt, and bring it back. Let's see if Dunlimited can manage it.
I really like the lineups Valor are bringing in as well. Okay, maybe that's not what you want to see in the lead-off for a few seconds, as your Wamai is quickly removed from the board. Nakeout not going to be partaking in this round, as they are quickly lost their life. And a lot of utility goes with that. So they probably only got down 2 discs. I'm not sure if they managed to threw those 2 discs out, or were reserving them even longer. So that's a lot of utility, unfortunately, lost for Team Valor.
And look at the number of throwables as well on the side of Dunlimited. Like that is very valuable this round.
There's a fair few, but what was my previous point I was trying to allude to is I really like Valor's setups. I really like the operators that they are bringing. Like you said, they're bringing good intel denial. Like this Brava is struggling to get true value and potential because there's always a mute on the board. They're always actively trying to avoid that, fuzz around the screen, the signal distortion. And
wow,
Rise, one thing that always
Jax with a triple drone kill.
Throwing drones in like that really isn't going to be helping the limited position. But another point I really like as well is Rise isn't actually clutching on the 1.5 with Warden. He's actually brought the shotgun out as well, and I think that really lends itself to Villa.
Well, the SMG-12 is a bit of a sleeper gun, to be honest. It's a really strong pick now. And you think about how well people use it. Jax gets his 4th drone of the minute. He's going to send out the C4 as well. He might be successful with it, honestly. The way that Nordwind is stacked up, there we go. Jax claims him, but Rorik with a bounce back onto Skies. And Jax again onto Hypox. This man cannot be stopped right now.
Really good teamwork again from Valor. Just every single time there's a kill, there's always an immediate trade back through onto another player of Dunlimited. It's really good. Now we're going to start to see these nades get sailed through from Dunlimited, and well, they've managed to get rid of that really pesky, annoying model shield, which can be a nightmare to deal with, and it's gone. So there's only 1 nade left in the pocket. Rise swings through with the SMG-12, finds one, but again, traded that back out by Skipper. 2v2 now. Skipper, low HP though, and he's got to go against 2 fully healthed opponents. Jax inside the study, and Rakos, I believe, holding down the bar area. So they're looking to send themselves through model for their final push in these final 30 seconds.
What was that drone? Maybe just playing off some sound. Skipper will expect the swing from the mute there. Rakos still holding firm. Getting a little bit more closely now. There we go. Takes down Skipper. And now Iwi has to push it in the 1 versus 2. But Rakos playing very aggressively on this wall. Rewarded with 2 kills and a round victory for Valor, and they keep that flawless run going 4-0. And as well as Rakos and Jax played that round, the pair of them each getting 2 kills, I have to say that the drone work and the drone killing from Jax in particular may have been the winning factor there, especially when you consider that Rakos' position at the death, completely unknown.
Yeah, the drone economy has been, I want to say, questionable. I wouldn't say... I think that last one could have been one of 2 things. It could have either been, just quickly thrown out to a teammate and say, hey, if you can hear anything, quickly let me know. Or it could have even been a bait, because if you saw it was the center of the door frame, you could maybe, if, the defenders aren't paying enough attention, because it was actually really good discipline from Valor, because they saw the drone go sail through and they went, It's not facing my direction. I don't think they know I'm here. I can continue to play and study. I think it was more if he'd popped that would have given himself away. So
I have a third, albeit less likely theory. He was tossing it for the 5 damage on impact if the swing came through.
Oh, yeah. No, I think, no, I would say, no, yeah. 100%.
Okay, fair enough, yeah. So that is what it was.
I mean, you run out of nades, right? What you got next?
Yeah.
Drones?
True, chuck it. Throw everything. Throw the kitchen sink for all I care.
Send that boy in.
Yeah. Well, 4-0. And Valor, you know, I'm barely even surprised. This is the thing, is that Valor have just really made that good an impression on me over the course of yesterday. And this flawless half so far, it could continue. We see a little bit of a change here. This setup, bolstered by the presence of a visual. It's going to make that drone work even more painful for Dunlimited on the clear. Neko playing in this extended position, very deep roam, in fact, as far away from the site as you can possibly get by the main door. Just hoping to make a good solo play.
Yeah. One point I actually really wanted to raise. Naku, really actually good adaptive pick, because what's the one operator that Dunlimited have brought almost every single time? In fact, Dunlimited's lineups have actually been very samey, but this is one operator that I would say is quite prevalent and quite key to their attack, or has been proved several times. The Lion. You can still run around on Vigil. His ability just completely negates it. So if you're playing that roaming defense, which the Vigil is, you can just cause havoc with Dunlimited's backline. It's a really good, nice adaptive pick. Guys, unfortunately, is going to get down, but immediately picked back up by a Doc, no less, so he's back up to full HP.
Incredible.
Such good team play from Valor. Just that's very quick, very adaptive, and yeah, I think it's just going to be us singing Valor's praises this game.
I had to rub out my marking that said opening kill to Dunlimited there. That was that was exceptional stuff there from Team Valor. So now we have, of course, still this 5 versus 5. But there we go. Rise finally put down as Iwi with that DMR on the window. The Lion sits down the IGL on the side of Team Valor. And now 5 versus 4. They do get that opening frag. Rykos, though, it's still going to be a problem. He was last time inside this bathtub. An unassailable position from beneath. Jax will gather Iwi, add him to the Pokedex, and that is a nice little refrag there. Nade comes out, but again, that is still a position unnadeable from beneath. Skies dips in and out, just providing pressure. Neko still, he's found himself now inside a master bedroom, but Nordwind clears him out. That castle barricade protecting that small window, gone. And that means that he could no longer hold that position. 43 seconds left, Warden. Dunlimited actually have a little bit of an edge here.
They do. Edge they will find, but unfortunately... No! It's going to be quickly shut down! Oh, but quickly traded back by Skipper. So they still have got a chance here, but Rakos is actually not looking the best in terms of HP. They have to play together now. They've got to really think about this. They are quickly aware that... Oh, no! They're going to be alerted by the gas mine. Skipper, however, does know that they are going to be somewhere inside the Master. Versus... Oh, no! R4C! And Rakos manages to just clutch out the round and save another round for Valor as they go up 5-0.
How on earth has Rykos done that? This is ridiculous. Dunlimited every single time. It feels like they should be winning a round. They just don't. They can't do it.
That's
Valor
why
always have something.
There
they go singing Rykos' praises there. Great to finally see Rykos have his moment. It was, it was Rise, Skies, and Jax stealing the limelight yesterday. Now finally we can add Rykos to the list of sort of decorated players, showreel-worthy players for that round. Excellent little clutch there coming out from him. Neko, you're the last one. Let's get Neko clutch, guys. That's what I want to see.
I'm ready. I'm here to see it.
Yeah. Well, our observer seems to know. We are not in communication with our observer here, so I don't know if we just sent sort of psychic energy there to our to the wonderful Lukey, who's been doing a great job. But yeah, specking Neko for us at the very start of the round.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Warhammer, Jerry, but they do say that in the realm of the Warhammer universe, if you believe hard enough, it will happen. So I think we've had a bit of a Warhammer effect there, through the warp, so to speak. But that's just my own personal nerdery. I'm actually quite interested in the site setup from Valor here. There's a lot of mid-ranged holes being made by Rakos for this kitchen defense.
Yeah, this seems to be the way they set it up the first time round, but we didn't get a close enough look of it because so much of that action took place around the library area. If you recall, Jax doing that deep roam on that far side, creating a maze of his own liking. And it seems as though they've got a kind of similar philosophy on the side of on that defensive on the Sorry, the rehost just threw me for 4 there. Yeah, so it looks like there may be a rehost call. Nope, looks like too late, unfortunately. They didn't call for it. Interesting choice there. Valor did actually have the option to call for it, right? It was, or maybe they didn't. I think it was just after the first 15 seconds or so. It's a very unfortunate timing for Rise to drop out there. Valor, though, I mean, they've shown that they can manage at a man disadvantage. A whole round. Let's see if it's possible.
What?
Okay.
No! He just missed the biggest freebie of his life.
Yeah.
And I'm very impressed that Jax actually didn't get the kill back. Rorik still desperately spraying a few shots through the wall to try and find the man that he's missed, but unfortunately, no bullets find a skull. Instead, he's going to now look to try and drone them out and see if he can find that position. But we're very quickly deciding against it, maybe not looking to sacrifice that drone economy. And unfortunately, well, it's not going to work out, but it's very quickly traded back by Eevee getting a kill onto Sky. So now, 3 versus 4, Unlimited actually in a good position, not of their own making, but it's one just the same. And as I say that, Skipper's now not looking so healthy. And neither's Hypex. Says Jax is going to get a knife. Was he on his Yana clone?
Rise has come back and be like, guys, what's happened? You're shooting each other. You're getting knifed in the back. Wait. No, hold on. That's the other team. Good job, guys. Good job. All right, well. Nice.
I think we're going to see another victory go to Valor here at this point. Maybe. I know it's... I know I've already cast a curse things for Unlimited, but now I'm cast a cursing things the opposite way.
It feels like Unlimited are being gifted around here, and they are taking that gift, and they are just throwing it in the garbage.
Oh, no. Skipper's just going to walk on into a hail of bullets, and, well, that's another man down for Unlimited. They're playing... Right, the only ways to describe this attack is every single attack has been very solo. People taking one-on-one gunfights and then losing. That's the only thing I can say about Unlimited's play thus far.
Yeah, and they are in a position where neither living attackers have access to drones. They are reliant purely on whatever drone network was already set up. Eevee can't even create the breach he wants because of a particular type of destruction that's been laid down on that wall. Rorik is just going to push in. He's going for kills. He's done with this. Do they even expect Jax lurking just around the corner? Eevee going for that plant, and Rorik very close on this wall, offering immediate cover, but Rykos will take him down. A 1 versus 3 now for Eevee. It is winnable as the plant does go down, but that hail of bullets, the triple crossfire, not a chance in hell for Eevee. And Valor, despite their best efforts, don't give away the round to Unlimited. That was a case of which team could lose harder.
That was absolutely brutal. The minute you said, he's in a winnable position, a whirlwind of three different guns and 3 different magazines just emptied towards his general direction. Oh, dear Lord. So, Unlimited are going to have to really come back hard here.
So this is the second time that Unlimited have had the map pick against Team Valor. First time they chose Cafe, lost 7-2. Now they banned Cafe as their final ban to go to Villa, and they're losing 6-0. Can they ever beat this team? Are they ever going to be able to beat Team Valor? I don't think so. In this state...
Possible blue whale?
Yeah.
Is it blue whale? Is it blue whale? I can't remember.
No, rubber duck? No. There's a...
Rubber duck?
No, it's a bogey. They're a bogey team.
Bogey man.
What's a blue whale?
Blue whale? I'm thinking of something else.
I mean, I know what a blue whale is.
I mean, yeah, it's a very big thing, and it's
a large aquatic mammal. Yeah, got a blowhole.
No, it's often referred to as obviously, you know, the team that you can never beat, right? That team that you're always going to...
Yeah, I think it's a bogey team. Like, Liverpool can never beat Burnley for some reason in football. For anyone that's football-minded, Burnley seem to be our bogey team.
I mean, I got it from a Ted Lasso, but I think I'm getting it wrong. I think it's
maybe there's probably another American version. You know, we call it bogey. They call it, I don't know, jello or some bollocks. Rykos misses the opportunity to claim the life of someone who just jumps out, but Jax will deal with Eevee. And an opening frag, when you're 6-0 up, has got to feel great.
Skipper definitely tried to give them the opening that they've so clearly wanted, but unfortunately just didn't find it. However, Hypex, that's a good one to get onto, Skies. It's always a good one to get rid of. It is the Grim, though, so no bees are going to be deployed.
That's so disappointing.
No annoying little pests. Rurik actually here with a possible C4 kill. However, Rakos was not close enough to feel the deadly shrapnel from that C4 as it was sailing on through, so not going to put them in a possible position just yet. Rakos is going to lose his life again to Hypex, who is having a field day with Solace. He might actually get a third here if he's lucky. Sends P90 bullets sailing on through. That's what we want to see. 4-1 to Dunlimited, but it's very quickly traded back as Jax managed to find another. Are we going to see another Jax clutch come in, Jerry?
It would have to be, but no. The TZSG to the face finally gives Dunlimited their first round, and the optimist within me is saying, it's just a defender-sided Villa, guys. Come on, we can do this, right?
I smell comeback.
It's a stretch.
No, I smell it.
You smell it? I don't know. I think
Aria. I mean, that could be the cat. That could be the cat. I just like to try one in.
I had Aria on yesterday, who did a fantastic job at predicting exactly what the score would be at the end of each game. Predicted a max OT within like 2 rounds at the start of a game. I don't know, Morden. I don't think you're as prophetic. I don't think you're as gifted.
Being gifted in the savant.
No.
You know, I'm not seeing the stars line up just yet. We've got, I think, Dunlimited are really going to have to prove it to me, and they're going to have to get some really, solid, confident defenses in order for us to see that. But liking the lineup that's being brought, we've got a Frost, we've got Naruni, we've got lots of grenade denial. Hypex struggling a little bit with that drone there, so a little bit embarrassing that's been caught on camera, so he might, get a bit red when he watches the VOD of this later, if he so chooses. But castle barricades, Jaeger ADSs, it's going to be a good, solid defense. So now the real question is, for me, is are Valor going to be able to, 6th pick into that? We're going to see the Ying being brought by Rise, so that's what I'm going to be watching for, because there's no Warden on the table, but there's lots of zap denial in those throwables.
They can get rid of those, though, with the various pieces of utility that they have at their disposal. You look at, for instance, the Twitch. There's a kind of chain of possibilities here. Twitch takes down a couple of those discs, a couple of those ADSs, opens up the possibility for the Ying to move in. The Flores as well could have got his utility off to remove some of those castle barricades and make the engagements a little safer, but Skyper will remove Rykos from the equation, so those Flores drones those Flores drones are no longer a factor. Big loss early on for Team Valor in this push, and Dunlimited starting to gain the tiniest bit of momentum here.
We were actually speaking about this again in how unhappy we've been with Flores usage, but I'm going to shut up because we might see a bit of a fast push here from Rise.
No, it's just Rise. It's only Rise.
He's just playing with him. He's just teasing. He just needs to, say, I'm going to be a little bit threatening. I'm going to withdraw some of the attention as Hypex and Skies get into a bit of a quickly deadly duel. He almost finds one of the players from Valor repelling in, but unfortunately he's going to lose his life, but gets quickly traded back out. Nordwind again finding a second onto Rise. That eliminates that Ying threat. Again, Dunlimited securing themselves here in a good, confident position. They just have to not throw it away and work together as a team here.
Great job supporting the Romans there as well there from Rorik and Nordwind. One of them cleared as well, Rise, who was off on that balcony. So 2 versus 4, like you say, with only 1 nade, but a couple of smokes. Now, the smokes could be a big difference maker in this engagement when it comes to getting, the fights, isolating the ones that you need. But, of course, those ADSs and magnets are accumulating over time. And Valor need to get going sooner rather than later. The drone comes through. Jax guiding Skies to an opening kill. Very nice. Just holding down the trigger, controlling that recoil. And he puts Team Valor in a vaguely recoverable position.
Bambi not saving a soul that time, and looking now that Valor are going to look to try and use the last of their throwables, burn out those discs, burn out those magnets. Jax manages to find a second, put them in the 2 versus 2. Now, this is actually winnable for Valor. Dunlimited really have to be careful that they don't throw this here, but Skipper is in actually a very good position should the push come through Wolf. He's going to just bide his time, sit by the trophy, and wait for the call from his fellow player of Eevee, who's just going to hold and sit behind the Bambi.
Oh!
Just there. What a quick tap by Jax! Eevee now to try and clutch out in the final 30 seconds. Are we going to see a plant, or are we going to see a double upswing to try and eliminate and close this game out here? They're going to go for the plant. Eevee now's desperately got to try and work their way round through Deer, but unfortunately the plant does get stuck, and now they're on a 2 versus 2. First contact, no, does not go his way. A couple of bits of chip damage landed, and Jax secures Valor's victory here on Villa with a very confident 7-1.
And a 2 versus 4 as well at the end there. From the Twitch and the Sledge, Jax taking the credit for most of those kills, but Skies was instrumental in that victory. Unbelievable the number of two-man disadvantages that Team Valor were able to overcome during the course of that match. They are just built different, and you can never count them out, it seems. Dunlimited, on the other hand, very sloppy. Very sloppy. Yeah. Rounds gifted to them that they could not take, and they'll be very disappointed with the manner of their exit. There's no sugarcoating it.
Yeah, but they're going to get a good number of points, I believe, even though they, didn't do so great. So I still think they're in a good position to make it on through, but maybe not the most confident showings, but maybe they don't need to. Maybe they're saving strats, Jerry. Maybe they just know that they just need to get further enough. I know I'm huffing G2 copium right now, but
a little,
but we've seen them do it before. Will we see them do it again?
It's entirely possible. I would like to now just take a moment to hop on over to the bracket and just see what this means in the grand context of things, in the grand scheme of things. So we get to see what's going on here. And here we are, the bracket up on my screen now. So Warden, if you care to take a look, share with me this moment. We are going to have a look at the quarterfinals that have been going on. So we had Calories versus White Tigers. So this is round 5. All of these are effectively quarterfinals. We have 4 of them. White Tigers versus Calories. Calories are the X10-star roster we saw come up against Valor yesterday in the final and not make it all the way, unfortunately. But they've made it to the semi-final today, beating the German roster of White Tigers, who I believe is their first time in the quarterfinals there. So a decent points tally for them might be enough to take them through to the combine. We have Dunlimited versus Team Valor. We've just watched that almost flawless victory from Team Valor and a wonderful clutch at the end. So that semi-final will be Calories versus Team Valor. Another rematch, this time of the final that we had yesterday between Calories and Team Valor. The other side of the bracket looking a little bit weaker, to be honest. There were a lot of very, very solid teams that went very far yesterday on this top half of the bracket, and they were eliminated very early on. So our other semi-finals, or other quarterfinals rather, Ice Force Esports with a 7-0 against Looking for Org. Either that was a forfeit that I'm not wary of right now, or Ice Force looking pretty nice with a flawless victory. And the other quarterfinal there, Ryzon versus Furefry, and I know not how to say that name properly, so do forgive me. Firefry, okay. But Ryzon coming out on top there, 7-4. So Ice Force Esports and Ryzon making it to the semi-finals. Top 4 in any of these quals gets you 50 points. So that's what they have gathered for today, minimum. Very exciting stuff for those two teams. It should be enough to see them through to the Combine Phase 2. And of course, we'll stay with, well, we don't know which semi-final we're going to do yet. We may stay with Calories and Team Valor. We may hop on over to see
Calories Team Valor.
You want to see Calories Team Valor?
I want to see that rematch. I want to see if there's going to be Calories are going to come out swinging and just go, right, we've had them in that grand final. They stole from us. We're ending it this time.
Okay, we'll have to be open to a surprise at the end then, the final between one of those teams and either Ryzon or Ice Force. So very exciting. We're going to see one of these teams that I really don't know too much about. We'll have a quick look at the rosters for Ice Force and Ryzon. A few names I recognise there. Hey, look, it's Drake. Drake's competing. Hey, Drake's made it to the semis. Well done, Drake. Yeah, the rest of these teams, recognise a few names here. Adinovich, Cloudy on the side of Ice Force. Conky was really tearing up things inside of GSA at various points last year. So exciting pair of rosters, maybe. We'll get to see that were one of those two teams in the final. But let's come back to our faces just for a little bit here. Yeah, my brain just shut down. So here we go. Let's have a look. Fresh is streaming. Warden, what do you think?
Yeah.
This semi-final on the docket. Rematch. Who are you backing?
I want to back X10-star.
Yeah? You think that they've got it? It was not a close match yesterday. 7-3. 7-3 to Valor.
Haven't seen it. to be honest. I haven't
Okay,
seen
yeah,
it.
fair enough.
But I'm assuming Kenny is coaching them a
He
little
is, of
bit.
course. He is, of course.
I mean, I've got to go with my man Kenny.
Yeah,
I've got to go with Kenny.
a rematch against Kenny is always a completely different kettle of
That's
fish,
why
isn't
you
it?
can't that's why you can't count him out, in my opinion.
You're right, you're right. Well, we'll throw it to a break. We'll see if Kenny has done his homework. We'll see if Calories can best Valor this time round in just a few. So don't go far. We'll be right back. Hello everybody and welcome back to the R6 Central Combine. We have the EU Central Qualifier. No, this isn't the EU Central Qualifier. It's the Open Qualifier number 2. It's right down there. How did I get that wrong, Warden? How did I get that wrong? Either way, we've got Calories versus Team Valor as a semi-final this time. We saw them in the final yesterday and it's a rematch.
It is, and I think it's going to be a good one because I have all of my chips in Kangaroo Kenny's court. So
all right, okay.
I'm interested to see if he does manage to do a Kenny-esque comeback and lead his team to victory, because he's got some fantastic players on his team. So I definitely think they've got the manpower to do it, but I think it's just going to come down to those strats at the end of the day, especially since we're going to Villa.
We are. We can head straight on into it because, well, we're ready. That's why we're going in. We have Calories versus Team Valor, of course. Villa again, right? We've already seen Villa today. And yesterday, just to remind you, Calories lost 7-2 on Border. No, sorry, 7-3 on Border. 7-3 on Border. And it was quite a performance from Valor. Like we said, they are the team that look like a team right now. They are the team that really look like they've got things together. And they're going to start with a Dokkaebi ban. I wouldn't be surprised to see them follow the same bans as last game. So I believe that was the Dokkaebi, and on the defensive side, we had the Valk and the Azami. I just can't remember which way round it was. I didn't note it down. I'm very bad.
So
there's the
I got down here.
We might actually have the same ban phase if Valor...
yeah, I mean, the only thing I could see going the other way is that we have Azami and Solis banned out. I think that...
Yeah, Solis is a strong one.
I think that Solis on Villa is another powerful operator alongside Azami. We are going to see Azami go as well. So now it's just left to Calories to now determine that final ban. I'm hoping it's going to be Solis, just because I think then it kind of balances everything up a bit. I think we'll see quite a, a little bit more of an even sort of Villa instead of it being so heavily defender-sided. But we'll have to see now.
The Valk.
It's going to be Valk again.
So they want to play with that Solis in the first half. Now, something that we don't often talk about is the fact that that last ban is almost a power ban, right? Because you are the one that are heading on to the defense. You get to decide what the state of play will be. So, Fenrir going to be rocked out by Grizzly there. Wouldn't be surprised to see Oscar maybe on that Solis. It would suit his role quite well. But no, that's actually going to be a Mozzie being brought out. And a Vigil. Now, interestingly enough, of course, Oscar had a brief stint on this roster during the Stage 1 for the EU Quals. And he's been joined by SkyTeam. SkyTeam of ex-Victors also. So this duo, once again, reunited under Kenny's loving arms. I can't imagine a more kind of formidable, like, grassroots UK trio, right? That is a scary, scary prospect that these three are working together now. And, of course, Grizzly coming on down from his heady heroic days, and Jonker, who is, of course, XG2. So you've got a very good mix of young and old, but the youngest of all, Lambe. New player on the scene, new kid on the block, a Finnish 18-year-old who has a lot of promise. I don't want to put too much on his shoulders, but a lot of people are expecting good things of this guy.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, you've mentioned it previously. The young Finn is definitely being touted as the new upcoming talent, and it would not be surprising as well with Kenny's reputation of finding, a young gunner to raise into the prestigious towers of a tier 1 or tier 2 team. So
Jegs, Savage, they've all gone through Kenny,
Exactly, they've all gone through the loving, tender hands of
we
Kenny.
keep calling them like loving arms. We've done it maybe a little bit too much now.
I reckon Kenny is a great hugger.
He is. Can confirm. Yeah. I'm lucky enough to have experienced a hug from Kenny, and it's a good one. He's a good hugger. All right. Let's dial in here, Warden, and stop gushing about Calories, because honestly, Valor, they are the favourites in this. And we got bees! Bees! The bees are here!
Calories line up real quick. What do you think to the lineup?
It's good. It's a bit scary. The Vigil might cause a bit of a surprise, especially, but you do have, of course, the IQ to counter it. IQ being brought mainly to counter the Fenrir, I'd imagine, but it's going to get extra value.
It's a lot of adaptability from both teams, and it's a lot of flex, I think, because you've got the bees, you got the Twitch, you got the IQ, and then you got some solid performance in terms of that. Rise Oh no, Lambe proving his worth right there and then as he removes the absolute demon that he has been in previously. But we're now going to see Neku follow Skies and try and lead an assault up the main stairs. The bees being fired and deployed, but the toxic gas pushes him back as the swing comes through from the Fenrir. But two, unfortunately, fell by Skies for a flank from the library. Oscar dealt a lot of damage now, but he's got the commando. He's got a powerful SMG at his side. Will it save his bacon, or is he going to fall? He's unfortunately going to fall to Neku and puts Team Valor in another good position with a fantastic team effort to bring that almost disastrous flank back from the death.
What a chaotic mid-round, all up to Lambe and Yonka on this defense, but they do still have plenty on their sides. They hold these power positions, and a lot of that utility, all the nades especially, removed from the side of Team Valor. Jonka takes down Jax, evens that man count. Neko pushes on into Study. He's got that commando at his side, a good weapon to be dealing with the likes of these defenders. Neko has decided to rotate back out though, pick up the diffuser, so that any sort of situation where they can get it down is in their favor. Oh, very close movements there from Lambe as he just manages to evade. Rykos and Neko look ready to strike though.
Oh, Lambe finding the first headshot that they need to secure this round, this first one for them. Neko is now going to look to push through the bees and looking towards the vault, but he's got to be aware that there is also that of Yonka hiding behind the bar. Second lasting canister, I think, of the bees now been deployed. Yeah, he's got none left. So he's going to have to work it all out from here. He's going to have to feel it out. Lambe and Yonka. Beautiful discipline as Yonka finishes up and puts Calories in their first victory here on Villa.
And a 2 versus 3. We're used to seeing Valor put it back from the man disadvantage. We saw a lot of it on the Villa earlier against Unlimited, but Calories showing that they don't need the manpower to win a round. It only takes 2 to tango. So 1-0 to Calories, and of course they are on the defense. We are expecting them to be able to push themselves forward a little bit further than Unlimited did, for instance. I'm very excited by this. I'm very excited that we get to see them on defense first, just because I feel as though the way Team Valor are playing, if they get the defense pick on their side to begin with, there's an opportunity for them to run away with it. Of course, we did mention this though, is that Kenny plus VOD analysis is far better than Kenny without VOD analysis. Having all the tape from yesterday on Team Valor, I know it's only been 1 day, but he was messaging me at like 3 AM, so he was definitely rewatching VODs. I can tell you that. He didn't tell me.
You know what? I think that would be quite a vibe watching VODs, just, you know, doing a little bit of analysis at 3 AM. Maybe, you know, nice bit of, you know, whatever you fancy, alcoholic beveragino in your hands, you know, just chilling, just having a good time, just working it all out, you know, masterminding it just with some, I don't know, maybe some classical music in the background. But that would be how I would do it, personally.
Beveragino is definitely like a Gavin and Stacey thing, alright? I feel like
that
has to be something Smithy says.
I just heard it, man. I just heard it. Anyone for a beveragino?
Yeah, no, that has to be a Smithy thing. 100% James Corden says that line at some point. I don't know. My partner watches a shitload of it, but I just absorb it. So yeah, I think it's him. It sounds very familiar. Anyway, 30 seconds into this round, and we have ourselves a trophy defense. Rise and Co on Team Valor, opening up these walls, trying to make sure that Master Bedroom is cleared out. Not as aggressive a hold of the Master Bedroom and bathroom positions as we saw in the last game, but they do have these open sightlines that have become the meta. Jax on the reverse repel does catch out Grizzly inside of Astro, and that's a nice early start for Valor, but a big loss for Calories.
Can say that's not the operator you want to lose so early. You lose a lot of the adaptability that operator brings in terms of the ability to counter those punches, but Yonka trades it right back onto Skies. There goes the Yana, there goes the nades. That's actually some really vital utility that Valor need to push. And Oscar manages to find a C4 to Rise. Another quick aggressive fight back. Skitty. Neko is just in the middle of sight. Hello? What's going on? It's a 2 versus 2 already. What is going on, Jerry, as we enter this final minute 30?
We'll try and make some sense of it for you. Oscar and Lambe are trying to retake the site from this southern position, but Neko, after having dived deep inside of it, has fallen back just a little bit to the safety of Astro. Rykos in support. He doesn't quite know that they've fully cleared it. They don't have that network. They don't know about Astro says. Still, in the back of their mind, they're unsure about it. They have to move quickly. They have to be certain of themselves. Deciding to push deep into Statue here. Rykos going to plant that diffuser on concrete as the players both double up. They want to rotate back round into the site. They may have missed the opportunity to deny the plant here, playing for their lives instead. The ring comes round from Lambe, takes out Nico, but Rykos immediately trades it back. A 1 versus 1 with Oscar on the other end of it, but Rykos with yet another 1 versus 2 clutch today is just looking insane on Villa.
Yeah, and also, just like to point out real quick, we actually got some, I think, decent Flores usage there.
Nice for a change.
Well, we were speaking about this previously, and I tried to bring it up in the last game, but I got quickly shut down by Rise deciding to bring a Ying and throw a couple of Candelas in and be a bit of a menace. But we've said that the usage on Flores hasn't been as great. We have seen very little value gain from his gadget, most often being used in very questionable positions, and he's also often been that first pick. And we've also said as well that Solus has not helped that position in any way, because when he is picked, there's Solus on the board. She's finding this man and just ruining his day every single time, just sending him into the Nether Realm, not able to do anything because he's been on those drones. And it's really, really key and valuable that you don't lose that operator, especially so early, because of his ability to clear out utility that nobody else can without the resulting catchers doing their job.
It does fill that very specific niche, and you need to respect the Flores and give him time to do his job as well. It does take a bit of time to get value out of him, but it's so safe, it's so efficient, and it's so great at dealing with things that no one else can, right? So you have to respect it. 15 seconds now into the round, and no action taking place just yet, but Lambe just sort of setting up inside a study to maybe go for a cheeky little hop out and deny anyone on this master balcony. As once again, we're repeating the site, trophy statuary. Calories not happy with the way that went down. Really surprised, I think they all were, we were for certain, by Neko's quick entry. That is very much the meta right now, and Team Valor, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. We haven't seen Neko really pop off to date, or in past days at all, really, but he flexed onto the Ashe, and he made it work just there, so you have to watch out for everyone on this roster, it seems.
Back onto the old man of Thatcher, though, which we don't actually see be brought much these days, but they're going to need it to get those ace charge Selmas on through and open up that wall, which they have managed to do. Only 1 EMP spent, so actually highly efficient for them. Second Lion Scan also used as well, with Jax only with 1 remaining. So Team Valor, I think, have used their utility pretty wisely thus far. They've still got a lot of throwables in pocket as well. Some nades on Skies as well, who they could look to send on in underneath. Oscar is down there, though, with a pre-play C4 that could actually ruin Team Valor's push, should they decide to go through Master. But someone has to go down and clear him out. And I don't think that that's going to happen. Valor instead looking to be pushing the study side, Jerry.
Yeah, and it has been barricaded up by Lambe on his retreat, so this will at least give Calories a bit of a sound cue, a bit of an early warning system about their entry, and that will be triggered. Just Jonker playing on this red stairs position, does get droned out and can't shoot the drone. Lambe will have to deal with that drone instead, and there it goes. Actually, that was a different one. But either way, some drones dealt with. Red pings come out, but Jonker holds his nerve, holds his position. Immediate refrag by Rykos from that DMR. Neko is now going to come up in support, but Jax takes down Lambe. The pre-play C4 finally comes good from Oscar. Neko dealt with by Skyty above, and it's a 3 versus 2 in favor of the defensive side of Calories. Rykos and Skies need to gather themselves. They do still have this pace. They're keeping it up. Diffuser in the hands of the player inside a trophy. That is Skies, or Statue rather. Pushing deep, a player on the opposite side, hiding behind this, but it looks like Rykos may know about him, sends that smoke in. Let's see if he knows.
I don't think he does. I think he's just bided his time perfectly. But my biggest concern was the fact that Statue is very open right now, and I don't think that... Oh! Oscar just walks up and takes the headshot. Okay, claims the life. Is he going to get a second? He will! Skies falls and Calories takes a second round. I was really worried there. I was like, where's Oscar? He needs to be looking to move back to site. And I was also getting a little bit concerned. It's like, oh, Team Valor going to expect that flank, because we've seen before they're pretty good at determining when they're going to get flanked, because they've got a good drone network. But unfortunately, that time, Oscar's just better at removing skulls, and remove them he did. They're now sitting on his throne.
That they are. It's the age-old question, isn't it? Where is Oscar? It's a scary thing seeing him alive in the end of a round, towards the end of a round, because you know He's smart enough to
kill a whale.
He's smart enough to rotate back to site if that's the play. But yeah, a lot of the time for Oscar, that is not the play, and we've just seen it right there. So excellent play up the red stairs to win the round for his team. I want to jump back into the kind of the choices made in that round, particularly that Thatcher, because I feel as though I'm theory crafting a little bit here. I've seen a fair few more Thatcher bans in the past few days than I expect to see. I'm beginning to think that it's actually a response to Fenrir. Because
yes,
there are certain,
I think you're right.
There are certain ways to deal with Fenrir, and most of them involve, like, you know, removing the gadget, try and find a cheeky way of getting rid of it. But Thatcher is just a pretty blanket utility that can deal with it. You just send it through as soon as you're going to push. Massive radius, it will clear the Fenrir gadget. It will make sure that the one push you need to do through that particular area is not guarded by an active FNAT mine. And it makes things a lot simpler for you. So I can maybe understand that mentality. They didn't hit any of those FNAT mines that last round, so they're deciding we didn't get the value out of it. Let's rotate back to our Ashe.
Yeah. And Yonka getting a little bit bold, a little bit brave, as he threw himself out the window with the Oryx, because he's definitely feeling it, going 4 and 2, but unfortunately didn't manage to find anyone thus far. But continuing back to your point, one thing I also want to say about these teams and how you can tell they're at such a high level. Oh, Yonka not just quite, unfortunately, fall into skies. Going back to
look how quick they are.
Real quick! Nate Q just drops onto Oscar's skull and sends him just packing. Oh dear, that's not what you want. I'm going to give up trying to make my point as of right now, Jerry, because the teams have just decided they're going to go absolutely savage at each other and just see if they can get these quick kills they want, because we're only a minute in and there's 2 people on Calories side dead.
Yeah, very, very quick stuff from Team Valor. They worked that side of the map exceptionally well. The pre-play C4 didn't get its value, gave away the game for Oscar's location, and a very nice heads-up piece of gameplay to jump over the barricade and jump over those arches and find him. Skyty as well taken down by Nako, who's having a pretty good game so far. Like I said, this is the one player I haven't seen really show up on the side of Team Valor, and he's having a game now. This makes me scared. This should make a lot of teams scared. Calories still 2-1 up, though. 2 versus 5, though. It's going to take some real heroics for them to get anything out of this round. I think we're going to see a tie game.
Yeah, and it's almost like Valor have chosen to kind of take it in turns with, if you've noticed on the operator lineups as well, in who's in what position, which really shows their flexibility and diversity. Skies almost losing his life then for a brief second as Lambe almost takes advantage, but it's a bit of a dancing and fight round, but unfortunately he falls to Skies as Skies falls and Lambe is unfortunately felled. Grizzly's now just
defusing
up. Why didn't he get off? But Jack saves the day. So close to being. I mean,
could he not hear it?
This game already, Jerry. This game, it's already to being a bit of a wild one.
Grizzly was that was a moment. That was a real moment. Grizzly.
Hey, he's coming. He's coming, mate.
Oh Lord, he coming. That was a very strange round for the ending. But okay, let's just compose ourselves for a moment here, because Calories now 2-2 at this point. They've lost a couple of rounds that they've had very little control over. That was oh wait, no, not even true. Not even true. That round was all Valor, but the other loss they had was a clutch, a 1v2 from Nako, or from Rykos rather, in that post plant on Trophy. So it's been a very close game so far. Very, very close game so far. But Team Valor have those 2 attacking rounds, and we know just how good they can be defending Villa. We just saw them produce a flawless defensive half on Villa against Unlimited. So realistically, I'd say Calories need to win the next couple of rounds to stand a chance here, based on the way Team Valor are playing today.
But one of the things I was also going to say is just about these teams and the quality. Just trying to finish my point from the last round before, these teams keep interrupting me. How dare they? But we've seen Team Valor bring Lion several times. Every single time, Calories have responded with a Vigil, and it hasn't actually panned out. It's almost like, Valor are really kind of utilizing this operator to actually withdraw from the defense to stop them from bringing something, to try and, challenge those Lion scans and put them under pressure. It just doesn't seem to work. So instead, they've actually gone back to, taking the Vigil out of the lineup, because he is quite a selfish operator, and have chosen to use something else. The solace that Oscar is on is the real one that I think has been missed.
He may have been
missed
missed
there. Huge if he has.
Frost taking out the drone. Rykos may have an inkling though. I believe, the way he was looking towards the bathtub, I feel like a bit of the spidey sense was active there. He is, of course, the Jackal, so he may be able to track someone if he gets in very quickly, but I think the opportunity may have passed him by. This is an AVG defense, mind you, okay? Oscar is still ratting inside of that bathtub as far as we're aware and could strike very late on, but Team Valor looks like they kind of want to ignore it. They don't trust their roam clear at this point. They know that it's going to be a very difficult job. They're taking a more direct approach.
They are. Some quick floor work being done to monitor the main stairs, with NAQ just managing to find himself in the right position at the right time, as unfortunately fell victim to some fear gas from the scarecrow-like operators. He's trying to now work his way up the stairs alongside Skies, who is watching his position. The scarecrow fear gas will get eliminated, C4 quickly thrown out, but to no avail. They've managed to back off, and just now they're being patient. However, Yonka getting a bit bold, looking to move down that stairs and try and catch them off guard in an unexpected position. But he might get drawn out by the Yana clone, and he does, but he manages to find the pick anyway. A quick flurry of kills nonetheless. 4 calories. He's now got Sky's going to work his aggressively way. Oh, but he finds 2, putting Valor back into a contention point.
2 versus 5 down to a 2 versus 3 now. It is Jax and Skies, a terrifying pair of players to come up against if you are Calories, but they will play it safe, they will play it smart. The FNAP mine still causing problems here for Team Valor, but no one on the side of Calories to capitalize off of it. Those Ace Selma charges will continue to fizzle unless the jammer is removed. At this point, they probably just want to funnel through these doorways, play for the trades, looking to try and grab an early frag in these last 30 seconds, but nothing being offered as Calories have backed themselves far away from the site. An opportunity to open it up here, maybe for Valor, as they push the go button.
Discipline has been fantastic from Calories, and Lambe using Warden's gadget very effectively as he finds 2! Cementing the round for Calories. Another good win, and definitely on their way to getting those 2 rounds that you so called earlier that they're going to need to give them that buffer against a very defender-confident Valor.
Excellently done. Excellently done by Calories there to cause real problems on that roam. That was almost the win con there. They caused so many problems on that roam, and it made Team Valor change their strategy mid-round. That was the key there. They were not prepared to fully go for an execute up the main stairs and through study, but that's what they were forced into. A very lateral, or rather one-dimensional take, really. And it was well met by Jonka. It was well met with the support from within the site by Lambe, who, interestingly enough, for someone that's been picked up as kind of a gunner, as a young, talented player, he's playing a lot of anchor operators. He's playing the Warden. He's being supported from within his own network. And we're still seeing, you know, Oscar and Skyty being the loose and fast kind of duo that we expect them to be. They're still in their element. I'm very excited by the lineup that they're kind of working. It reminds me of when TSM picked up Bolo back in the day, and they had him playing Zofia, like, in the middle of the pack, right? He was never the front liner. He was never the front gunner. He was someone who had to understand the flow of the game. So they're like, we'll keep you alive for as long as possible. We want you in those clutch scenarios, and we want you to be part of the core. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's always a good place to try and put them, because instead of sending them first through the door, you know, it can be very difficult because you often lose those entry players. Like, most entries around the world don't actually have, like, don't have to have amazing entry stats, because they're normally the first being sent through the breach to die. Yes, they're trying to get as many kills as they can before they are sadly killed off, but it's that initial aggression that they're mainly being used for. And instead, if you put them in kind of that mid pack, you actually put them in places so they can trade back through sheer gun skill. And it's actually very good. We're seeing now Team Valor look to kind of go for a main door push and assault, which Calories have read into, and they're actually doing a really good job in baiting around it. Skitty throwing out that C4, almost doing a little bit of chip damage from it onto the players. And, well, we're seeing that Solace gadget come really handy, as we might see it dive out one of the windows onto the players below. But I don't think we're going to see it just yet, because Calories' discipline has been awesome. You can see already how well Kenny has managed to drill these players in with such discipline. I love it.
Oscar is being fed the intel by Skyty. That's the difference here right now. And Skyty getting into a bit of a scuffle there, but Nako safe for the time being, as the C4 doesn't quite meet its mark. A lot of HP taken and finished off there by Nako. Great little combo by Skies and Nako to deal with that Capcan down below. But it has taken half the round to clear out this one roamer. Oscar is still above with Lambe holding vertical angles. And this is a problem for Team Valor. They do have quite a significant man advantage on their lateral take. A 2 versus 5 almost. But if these verts come good, then they will be in a horrible position. And Oscar does drop down to take out Rise. But Skies is there with the refrag. And it's a 3 versus 4 in favor of Team Valor.
His calories have it all to do. They desperately need to find that other man. Naku has had some health chipped away as he managed to, unfortunately, stick his foot in it, so to speak, as they are going to lose a chunk of HP to a Capcan trap nonetheless, as we enter these final 30 seconds now. And Team Valor, they're looking not too bad. They're still trying to find a point to go off of. We might see actually a kill come out here, but again, good back off by, I think it was Lambe, back towards, Yonka, but who's going to go back towards his team and play with them in these final 20 seconds. They've made their way through onto Memorial. Now comes the 15-second mark. Rakos going to unfortunately get a bit of fear gas, and no one's swinging just yet. Neko's going to lead it off onto Lambe. There we go. It's just left to Grizzly in the 1 versus 4 to spray through, but unfortunately Rakos is there to save the day and sends him to a gravestone.
Incredible push there from Team Valor. The way they set themselves up for that take was absolutely perfect. 2 players pushing in from Memo, and the remaining 2 coming in from completely different angles. We had Rykos coming up from the basement to that sort of closet area, and he grabbed 2 absolutely crucial kills at the close. Another in Nako coming down the stairs via Astro and pushing through China. No matter where you were as a Calories defender on that round in the final 30 seconds or so, you were gonna have to be spinning on your heels to deal with people. The only person that was safe from any sort of crossfire was Grizzly inside of Laundry, but he was the last one left standing. He couldn't help his teammates out. They weren't in tradable positions. Honestly, stacking up as Team Valor in that situation maybe would have been the superior play, to be able to trade those positions and be in an advantageous gunfight, because the way that Valor tackled the crossfires there was exceptional. Brilliant stuff from them. Exceptionally coordinated. And now we move on to Team Valor's defensive split. After getting 3 attacking rounds, we've just seen them do a flawless half on defensive Villa against Unlimited. I smell 7-3, to be honest.
I was going to say, I was actually just going to go to this point in terms of now Calories have to try and prove that they're not going to get 7-3'd by the same team they got 7-3'd against yesterday. So, now it's time to prove your mettle, prove your worth, so to speak. Calories have it all to do, because the ball is in their court, and one player that definitely needs to wake up is Grizzly.
Yeah, he's been in hibernation for a little bit, the Grizzly Dad. Not necessarily expected to get all the kills, but you do want your supports to be doing a little bit. Obviously, Rise is only on 1 and 5 as well, so
maybe we can tempt him out with some fresh fruit.
Yes, or maybe some honey,
salmon.
Some tasty honey.
Yes,
a big pot of honey. Lambe is the tip of the spear in this round. Does trigger an FNAT mine and will back away. Grizzly supporting from beneath, it would seem, just doing some of the dirty work. You know, this is what he did on Heroic, it's what he's doing here. Jonka goes for a bit of a cheeky shot there, dropping off of the bedroom balcony and firing through the window. Nako getting aggressive here, shooting the drone, but then backing off. This is typical Team Valor. They know where their line in the sand is, and they never cross it. They never overstep the mark, it seems. They know exactly where to go. As I say that, Skyty, very smartly holding a fairly aggressive angle into the center of the map, does take down Nako, but Jax playing close on this Wolf double door may be in for a surprise if anyone rounds that corner. It's just the Yana replicator. Sky's still sitting here on this red stairs, and the crossfire is still a problem that Calories have to deal with.
Yeah, and they haven't managed to deal with it. Just left time ticking away.
Oh no. Is that a retreat?
Lambe's going to fall off. I think
they're giving up.
They're looking to very quickly switch up and go to the other side. Maybe Oscar's seen something. Maybe he's feeling good about a study send instead. Maybe look to push up the main stairs. This would catch Valor off guard if they're not aware, because they actually only have 2 people in the positions to immediately react, and Jax is somewhere in the mid-ground between these 2 points. Flashbang comes through. One, however, his goggles will help him secure his position, and they have actually left someone behind for a backstab, but it's not going to work in terms of the frontline attack, as Rakos is going to find Lambean too, but Skiddy managed to send his way on through, but he's got to deal with the model train, so the model shield, and Rise is now, like you said, spinning on his heels, as he's now trying to desperately fight between the backstab and the main push from Calories.
And 23 seconds left. Jax will confirm the down. Oscar, Jax now taking a heck load of damage, but he wins his engagement. Rise as well. All up to Skyty in the 1 versus 2. His push players out of the site. Downs Rise. One player left, and it is Jax who pre-places the C4. But Skyty doesn't have the diffuser. He needs to grab it. No, he's going to go for the kill. And the pre-place on the diffuser is enough to do it. Jax with a massive brain play to see another round go the way of Team Valor.
Wow, what an opening attack from Calories, and what an opening defense from Valor. I couldn't have gotten any tenser. The idea, I really liked that that idea from Calories. It's unfortunate it didn't pay out, because I think what was the real deal breaker for that is they didn't manage to clear that model shield. It allowed players to just be, you know, a menace in that position, just gave them that buffer, because if the knife of Skiddy had managed to clear through, I think that would have gone to Calories and looked very different.
I have to agree. That was a real problem for Calories. And the whole directionality of their push, we saw a similar round from Team Valor. Team Valor earlier on couldn't deal with the roam in the early stages of Oscar in the bathtub and all these mute jammers and things. And so they rotated to a different push. Calories spent even more time, did a full clear of the north side, but couldn't cross the line. They couldn't get past red stairs. They couldn't gain control of 90. Decided, right, we have to switch things up once again, rotating to that study side. Plan B just doesn't seem to be going well for either side right now. I feel like they, honestly, if they just worked a little harder with Plan A, it might have gotten, it might have gone their way. Maybe send someone up the red stairs. That was a sort of a factor that Calories really didn't come up with in the thick of it.
Yeah, I think that as well, they'd spent a lot of utility trying to do it, and at that point, it's also, like you said, there maybe have been a call from the other side that says, maybe we don't think there's much here, maybe we should just maybe go for a bit simple and leave someone in reserve to, you know, work what we have already massaged, would be what I, you know, would say, but... Yeah, I mean...
You got to soften them up first. Loosen, like, relax them on one side.
Yeah, exactly. You know, think, okay, they've backed off. They're going to go main. And no, they've actually left a waiting backstab coming in. I really like the idea. It is just a shame that, like I said, they didn't have enough utility spent and actually, you know, to clear out what was there. Now, going back to the round present, Skyty has managed to send himself underneath. Now's the time to start throwing some nades under. Hopefully he doesn't get flanked, because it looks like all of Valor are on the top floor, but there are a few off-liers who I haven't seen just yet, so he's got to be somewhat in a stable position, and the nade pin is going to be pulled. But now you've got to find the bodies. There is a dock on side as well, so if it doesn't outright kill someone, they are going to be rezzed, and they're going to be rezzed back to full HP.
Skyty will be looking to time these nades with the Lion scans and some active drone work, as is tradition at this point almost. G2 have kind of set that standard, and this is something that I know for a fact that Calories will have been working on. Rise does go for the peek down the Astro stairs, finds a drone instead of a body. Raikos coming under considerable pressure here, as that flash grenade will come through, dips into the safety of the bathtub. A second flash grenade, but an FNAT mine means that Oscar's going, nope, oh, I'm getting right on out. That was the biggest nope moment I've seen in a long time.
Flashed and fear gas. That is definitely not what you want to have to suffer
Back in.
With. Yeah, he's going again. Oh, but this time he's actually going aggressive and manages to find the skill. Skyty finds a nade onto Raikos as well. Oh! This will be a good first send. He managed to find two because he's on a double. Versus 2. We're going to slow right back down. Skies was dropped, as I thought so. It's just left an AQ in a 1 versus 5 clutch. Can he come up big for this team when he needs him most? From the player, like you said, who has not shown up just yet, but Oscar sends him packing yet again. So no big display from him. And Calories proving that they can break that 7-3 ceiling against this team.
Very important. Very important that we see a attacking victory from Calories. Oscar and Skyty. These are players, especially Oscar, I feel, that come into their own on the attack. right? Oscar's always said he's a very strong attacker. To struggle to replicate that kind of impact on the defense is something he's been working quite hard on. And now we get to see him in his element. Was picking up the final 2 kills of that round, but really, it was Skyty that did a lot of the hard work in the mid-round there. A good entry from Oscar, and I believe it was actually Grizzly or Jonker that picked up the kill on the player in the bathtub, but a lot of that hard work done by Oscar. And then Skyty coming up Astro Stairs, we saw the impact that he had, just taking out 2 players completely looking the wrong way from Astro. Great work. Kills went their way. That was pretty much it, but it was a very, very well-timed execute from Calories. Nothing too flashy, nothing too special. Just plays in through bathroom, plays up Astro Stairs, and they won their ones.
It was a hell of a fight to actually win those ones because of the utility that Valor had set up in their way. That was an absolute nightmare of a push that it's actually very incredible that Calories managed to win that round in the first place because, I mean, that FNAT is such a horrible FNAT to actually have to try and deal with, and then it's such close quarters as well. You've got to be so careful that C4 doesn't sail through and claim 2 lives in one. Skyty is actually, this round, going to go on to the... Amaru, that's it. There's so many operators with A. My brain was like Azami, Aruni. No, it's none of those. Which A is it? However, you've come in clutch there for me, Jerry. And we might actually see Skyty send quite through very quickly onto 90s. They're using their drone to check it out, and they might find Nako if they're not paying enough attention and the sound is, you know, picked up. So it could be pretty quick as the Lion Scan comes in to aid them.
This is a Skyty special. I feel like the number of times I've said Skyty at 90 is ridiculous. Oscar as well is in support on that side of things. Jack's playing quite close. He probably will be the first point of contact for that study-sided push, but there's also another task force at hand here. Jonker and Lambe trying to work this master bedroom side. They have decided to mix it up based on the fact they're seeing this trophy site again, and they know that Valor will be recipients of the intel from the previous round. Grizzly with the opening frag of the round as the sledge. That's only his second of the game, but a very impactful one. Takes down Rise the Smoke, and a second for Grizzly as he clears out Jax. Nako goes down. It's a flurry of kills as Rykos finally gives something for Valor to cling on to, taking down both Lambe and Jonker, but the damage may have already been done, Wharton.
As it is. Giddy sending himself first on through to the breach to try and be the man to make the difference. Unfortunately, they're going to fall to Skies, but Skies is going to fall to Oscar. Now, Rakos to try and clutch it all up for them, but he doesn't find Grizzly just yet. They're going to double up. Flash comes through! No! That's not what you want to see as the SMG sprays down 2 bodies as they just line up!
How many times are we going to see Rykos clutch a 1 versus 2 from Master Bathroom? Like, either of those 2 positions. He's done it like 4 times in the past 2 days. It's unreal. How do Valor keep winning these rounds? Every single time we count them out, they just win. It's ridiculous. Possibly one of the most clutch sides I've seen. And Rykos possibly one of the most clutch players I've seen in a long, long time. He's going 12-5 right now. Head and shoulders above the rest of the lobby. And it's not just, you know, stat padding. Every single one of those kills has been impactful, it feels.
Yeah.
What a game from the guy.
I would always argue that impactful kills is more important than the amount of kills, because you could be going absolutely insane, claiming bodies left, right, and center, but if they're not impactful, it's not actually going to aid your team in winning. So, you know, the fact that he's doing both is the real key difference maker for Rakos, because we've just been saying his name so often, and it's just continuing. But what I'm also going to point out as well is Calories have had some good responses from themselves. I mean, they're quite split. They're all doing the work. Grizzly as well, woken up from his hibernation now on 3 and 7.
Yeah, that was a great round. That was a great round from Grizzly.
But still now picking up kills. It's very tied between the whole team. There's no real outliers apart from Oscar, who I kind of I want to say he's a bit of a killer whale. He always rises up from the depths and will claim someone in a really important, impactful kill of his own. So I would say Oscar is the Rakos of Calories side. And yeah, Rakos, again, putting in some good work, especially on the Solace.
There are parallels, and it's nice to see an early rivalry developing in what is almost a kind of fresh new tier 2 scene. Rykos under considerable pressure here, and he does full to the gun of Lambe. The nade absolutely helped in that engagement. Rise holding this default vertical angle into Art Studio from the site itself. Sends a couple of shots but can't connect with them. Jax has recovered this main stairs position here. Skyries may have gotten that opening frag, but they haven't gained the ground that they need just yet.
Not just yet, but we're going to see the execute look to be set up soon, because Calories only have 1:30 left, so they've got to find some entry point as the Ash charge is sent through, caught by a disc, and Jax, well, he'll pick it up for free as they are still stuck putting that breaching charge away. Jax now watching towards Study. He's going to fall into two-way arms. Skiddy, though, managed to find Jax and remove him from the server. Skies as well, unfortunately, falls. It's gone the opposite way. Calories now have the two-man advantage, with Rise also down, leaving Neku in the clutch yet again for the side of Valor. Can he come big this time? I don't really want to cast a curse it, but Yonka is getting it down. Is the cover there, though, by the door? Gonna sneak his way on through, but no. Fortunately, Oscar secures it yet again. The cover was there, and tying things up as well.
What a game. What a game. We're gonna see all 12 rounds, Warden. This is the rematch we wanted. This is absolutely the rematch we wanted. Border was a... Yeah, you called it. You called it. Border was a bit of a whitewash yesterday. Valor really just swept Calories up 7-3. Coming to a very different map here in Villa. And we're seeing a little bit more structure from Calories. It's making a big difference. I want to pick up on something in that round. Maybe a moment of growth for Lambe. Coming up those main stairs. Man advantage at this point. 5 versus 4. Doesn't necessarily know that there's someone on those stairs, that they've retaken that position. Whether he does or not, it's inconsequential. The point is, he engages that position, and he takes out the Fenrir and Natmine, because that is what started the flurry of kills. We saw a very heavy Study push after that. He was the only one downstairs. Everyone else came in through those Study doors and the window. That was it. That was the push. And as soon as you engage that player top stairs, you give your life in order to make sure that they are in a difficult position, that they've just taken some shots, that they have to try and spin on their heels, take another fight. That is where you sacrifice your team, or sacrifice yourself for the benefit of the team. It's not something you'll get in the ranked attack. You know, it's absolutely a development moment. It's something that he will be learning from in this game. And I'm glad that he committed to it, because it worked out very well for Calories.
Did indeed, but now we've got to see Calories' success be repeated as they're going to attack AVG yet again. And this time it looks like they're going to go for a little bit of a mass descend rather than over by Study, but they have to feel out the waters. They have to make sure that this is the approach that they want to go with. It looks like they are. The Lion scan is going to be sent on out. And there are no defenders from Valor who are close to the initial point of entry against Calories. They're instead holding back. They're in this midpoint. However, we could see Lambe take the initial contact as a body manages to scurry on away through his sight lines, so no first kill just yet, but it's going to be close.
Grizzly working underneath. This is interesting to see him be that kind of lone soldier beneath. A lot of the time you'd maybe peg Oscar as the person to do that. But he's fulfilling his role. He's doing what he needs. Oscar on the line instead as part of this main task force with SkyT and Lamb on the eastern or the western side, clearing from Master Bedroom and Trophy. They're taking their time about this. Yonk is going to rotate to that 90 position, put some pressure on the player on 90 directly. That is Jax. And Sky's holding the other side of this cross on that red stairs. He's going to get very aggressive, shoot the Yana Replicator as he is spotted, and fall back. The Gambit. Good thing he fell back, basically.
Yeah,
he would have been dead.
It's a good thing that Calories did manage to ruin that Gambit, because it could have gone very badly if he'd managed to slip his way on through into their lines. Lambe now peppering a few shots, just putting some suppression down range. They're going to struggle, I think, to clear that shield again, but Oscar does manage to clear the red stairs and befall Skies, so that's some positive news. They just now have to use their utility to clear that shield. However, unfortunately, Rise, he's going to have an absolute field day as he sprays the legs of the Calories attackers, with Rakos managing to add another to his collection in terms of Grizzly, and the diffuser is also down cold in leg spraying range. So Calories going to really struggle to recover this diffuser and find those remaining players with only 30 seconds left. So, Oscar, impact player, has to find these kills. Otherwise, Valor are taking yet another round.
This has to be a hero play. Swings to the corner. Rise, though, very adept with the shotgun. Doesn't even need it. It's a warning shot in the end as Jax is the one to finish off Oscar. Neko collects Lambe on the other side. That felt like a real misstep from Calories, gotta be honest. What were they thinking, wandering down that long hallway?
Not ready, not enough time. They desperately needed to try and clear out that model shield before I think they should have even attempted doing that. And why was the diffuser followed so closely? Maybe they saw something that they liked. Maybe they wanted a quick send to see if they could catch them off guard, see if the, the linchpin would be the model so that they think, oh yes, it's going to be a full model send and then a quick side stab, but no. Valor not having any of it quickly shut down that opportunity, so nothing for them. It was a shame because I would have loved to see that paid off, but because they did do some good work and they almost had that shield removed, but the Wamai disc was also there to catch it again because they did clear it. So Wamai doing some very good work in denying it, because time and time again we saw utility sail on through and then immediately countered with a disc. So Valor did really well holding on to that shield. They know it is a key linchpin for that master bedroom side send.
6-5. Team Valor have the advantage in this matchup. A single round sends them through to yet another grand final. Calories have to come back and win it in overtime now. It's their only option, and it is going to be a trophy defense for Team Valor. They've looked not too bad here. 50-50 success rate. Lost the first one, the second. Can Calories adapt back in the face of Valor? They've already got that sledge on side to remove some external castle barricades, but it's the internal ones that are going to cause real problems around the master bedroom. Another external castle barricade. Again, this will be a freebie. Feels like a misinvestment of utility, if you ask me. But either way, Team Valor, they have their setup. They know what they want to do with it. They have adjusted, like I said, with these castle barricades now. And an early round of just removing utility. We're going back to the utility meta just for a brief moment.
We are, but the real difference maker for Calories could be Oscar and how he spends his utility. He has those Candelas. There's also no Warden on side, so no one to stop the push if everyone gets flashed. It's going to be absolute hell. So I'm really struggling to see how this one could pan out, because Calories are a little bit stalled, but there's still plenty of time. Those mute jammers are causing absolute havoc, and there's no Thatcher on the side of Calories to look to try and clear it. There goes the first Yin Candela spent. Try and flash out some bodders. Oscar managed to find one, but unfortunately Oscar falls to Skies. Skies finds a second, not the Skiddy. This could be it. This could be Valor's victory right here and now with those two big picks. Yonka falls as well. Nade pin pulled, tossed out by Grizzly to try and find a refrag. None found, unfortunately, and unfortunately, Lambe, that fear gas quickly sending him right back out the window he came through as he tries to secure the diffuser, but the blood is in the water. Valor can smell it here. They are just going to try and send very quick bodies in to try and secure one more kill. Make sure it's confirmed, because there's still plenty of time for these two players of Calories to try and make it work, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Grizzly's going to fall, and Jax is going to clean it all up, meaning it's a 7-5 victory for Valor, and they're going through to another grand final.
Jax with a 3k, Jax with a 2k, Skies with a 3. Very quick stuff attempted there by Calories, but it just wasn't the play. They met their demise. All of them, every single one of them died around that master bedroom closet area or right outside a window. And that is it. Once again, Valor come out on top. A lot closer this time. Calories are getting ever so close. Ever so close. Two players really emerging. A lot of really good players emerging. Every single one on this Valor roster. But Skies and Jax, really, really impressive. Rykos, what a game. Let's not forget about him.
Man's name we can't stop saying.
Incredible, incredible game from Rykos. They find themselves through now to that final. And at this point, they have gathered a minimum of 175 points in the tally across just 2 of their qualifiers. They are essentially 100% confirmed.
Yeah.
Calories as well. Gathered 75 yesterday and 50 today by coming 3rd/4th. So with 125 total, they can sit pretty comfortably in the knowledge that they've also probably made their way forward. But the more times they get to play against Valor, the better, I think. I want to see this happen again twice next week. It's been absolutely great to see these two butt heads.
I mean, do you reckon that one more round of VOD review for Kenny is what he's going to be need to put Valor in the coffin and the bin.
Let's see. He bought 2 rounds. He bought 2 rounds with VOD review there. He buys 2 more rounds. That's 7. You got to win. So,
but there was a lot of close.
Maybe.
There was a lot of close matchups there. So, because calories were not far away, were they? There was a couple of rounds here and there where they did get dominated, but they always managed to bring it back. They always brought something a little bit extra, and someone always showed up as well. So, a little bit more time in the oven. Maybe they will get them.
Yeah, just a little bit longer to cook. Definitely the order of the day for calories. So, unintentional pun there. Just happens, you know. Calories, such a great name. Apparently, it's the fault of Grizzly and Ride. They came up with that. Yeah, they're larger humans. It was their decision. So we're going to have a quick look at the bracket right now just to see what's going on. To contextualize all of this action, we have just been watching round 6, which is effectively the semi-finals. And we have just seen, of course, Calories and Team Valor. This isn't updated, but that was a victory for Team Valor. We just saw 7-5 moving forward to the final. Third place match won't be played because it's the same points distribution. There's no prize pool, so that will just be the end of Calories Day. And they'll have an early bath, which I'm sure they'll be looking forward to because it's really sweaty here. Ice Force Esports are the team that have won the other semi-final that was going on just now at the same time. 7-5 against Ryzon R6. So I will not be casting my co in Drake, unfortunately. That would have been really nice. We are going to be heading to the final with Ice Force Esports versus Team Valor not too long from now. Everybody that has just arrived, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed Fresh's stream. I was watching a fair bit of it before I started casting just a few hours ago. This is me. That up there is Artifacts Warden, the man himself, with the best mustache in Siege. And we're just having a look at the bracket right now. And Ice Force Esports. So this is the team that have made it to the final. And we'll be playing against Team Valor. Excited, Warden?
Very excited. I want to see if Ice Force can take down Valor. I think it's unlikely because Valor have looked really hot today, to say the least. I mean, they are on fire. There are so many names on that team that we cannot stop saying that are just having so much impact. And even the player who's providing the least is still providing such punchy plays. So it's going to be a tall order and a tall ask, and I think Valor are going to take it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I have to back Valor right now. It has to be said that the top side of the bracket that they've come from has been a lot stronger than the bottom side that we've seen play out during the course of the day. So I totally agree with T-Pods there. Fair play to Ice Force for getting this far. You know, making 75 points in these qualifiers should be enough to see you through to the Combine, in theory. If you look at, for instance, I'm just going to bring up the qualifiers for the Challenger League, because this is a good reference, all right? This happened, 2022. That was the top 6 go through. And it's the same scoring system, 100 points if you win. This was over 3 qualifiers, but the way they do it for these is that you have 4 qualifiers, and the 4th one, or your lowest points tally out of the 4, gets dropped, gets ignored. It's a really good way, because it means that you can schedule a bit more easily, and it's less punishing if you get like a really horrible draw in the bracket at one point, like, say, for instance, Viperio did today. They drew Calories in the first round. So today will likely be the one that is ignored for Viperio. But the point is that the top 6 go through here. In this, it's the top 18. So if you look down the list, sort of roughly around this mark here, with a 35-25, that's probably the border. That's about the break point. I'm going to say probably 35, given that your lowest score gets removed. So about 35 points should be enough to see you through. Based on that, let's have a look at these tallies so far. There's a lot of teams that have 35 already. KT.
Yeah.
Fewer Fry, I don't know how to say that.
Firefly.
White Tigers, Barney's Trusted Dinosaurs made it to the semi-finals yesterday. Calories, Unlimited, and Team Valor, the big 3, if you ask me. They all should be through. Blue Jays really good performance today, getting them all the way to overtime against them Unlimited. Might be enough.
Nipping on the heels, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. They are nipping on the heels of all the big teams, Blue Jays. The same with Youngtis. They keep being drawn against really big teams, these first 2 qualifiers, around about the quarterfinals or round before that. So I reckon if they get a decent bracket in the next weekend, they will go quite far, both these sides. Watch out for Blue Jays and Youngtis. So yeah, lots of teams already that have the opportunity to get through, and you can see obviously lots more that go all the way down to 18. Class of 22, again, another team that have had some rough brackets. Texas Chainsaw went quite far on that first bracket. So yeah, all these teams worth watching out for, I think. Warden, I've been talking for like about 3 minutes straight now. Do you have any thoughts?
No thoughts.
No
Head
thoughts,
empty.
nothing.
No, I think the bracket's shaping up how I would expect from some of the players on these teams. And I think it'll probably continue. Again, like you said, I think a lot of it is currently based on the brackets and how the brackets stack up. So as long as we get a good spread next weekend, then I think we're going to see a lot more people confirmed then, and a lot of these teams that are nipping on those heels, maybe like the Blue Jays, maybe Firefly, and White Tigers also securing those 35 points that they so need to, I think, make it through. So,
yeah.
yeah.
It's very exciting. I'm looking forward to this next game as well. We're going to give ourselves a short break and let the players get set up, but do come back here for Ice Force Esports versus Team Valor for the grand final of the second Open Qual. See you in a few. Hello everybody and welcome back to the EU Central Combine Open Qualifier number 2, the Grand Final. We have Team Valor, obviously, up against Ice Force Esports. We have no idea how they got here. We don't know much about them. It's very exciting. They're probably going to be in the Combine. Warden.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm hyped. It's Valor time. Sorry.
All right. Jesus. This is just a Valor stream now, right? We've watched, I think, 5 out of 6 Team Valor games that were available to us over the course of the past few days. And we're ready to go straight on into this grand final. There is no dicking about. We've got ourselves the immediate transition into the ban phase. Team Valor versus Ice Force. And we are on Oregon.
Yeah, Nock's going to be the one that's sent out first, and not surprised, because she can always be a sneaky little one and go down the back stairs and stab you in the back when you're not expecting it, so it's pretty standard these days. Which, if you go back a couple of years, I think it would catch a lot of people off guard to see the prevalence that Nock's had and come through, right?
Yeah, remember when Warden was released alongside Nook, and we thought, oh god, this is the worst season ever. Now...
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
I liked Warden.
Okay. Yeah, but you're into like the lore and the cosplay and all that. I mean competitively.
Wow. I don't know how you're there, really.
But they are both so prevalent now. And Warden will probably make it through the ban phase because, of course, there are so many more powerful operators on the defense that you can opt to choose from. The Azami's going to go. I would say for an Oregon, we'd like to see Solace as the final ban, but maybe Mirror. And that would leave quite a lot of powerful operators, maybe even Fenrir. But no, it is the Solace. Very, very effective on this map in particular. Just finding those nooks and crannies where the attacking network of drones has a little bit of a gap in it.
Yes, and... well, gaps in your drone coverage can always be quite painful, as they can always result in a round loss. And, wow, quite quickly, Ice Force picking up the attackers that they want. Was not expecting the speed of that. Normally I would bait a little bit more, but they've really gone hard on it.
Remember, we've got the, you know, the attacker repick. I almost forgot what it was called there. So it's not locked in 100% right now. A very kind of stock lineup, in fact. You're not even seeing like a Lion or a Dokkaebi or anything like that. Just very utility focused, it would seem.
Valor's lineup scares me.
A little bit.
That really does scare me. I mean, there's a lot there, man. 2 C4s, Goyo canisters, Mira, Warden, Jaeger, Smokes. I mean, it's going to be difficult to carve a path through all of that.
Well, that is the basement in a nutshell, right? Oregon basement is just such a tough site to attack. So many power positions you can hold, so many crossfires that are enabled. None of this ceiling is destructible at all. It all has to be done down staircases, down hatches, and through the one lateral entryway in the construction outdoors entryway. That will, you know the bit. It blew. Adinovich on the Monty. We have actually had a drastic swap off of the very utility-focused push, or lineup rather, that Ice Force started with. Instead, now we've got a Capital, we've got a Flores, and we've got a Monty. Lots to digest here.
Yes, and I don't know if you've actually watched Kangaroo Kenny's video, where he highlights why Capital has come up into the meta. I love that video.
I'm his biggest fan. Of course I've watched it.
He broke it down so well, and I've used it so much because it is so informative, and Capital's prevalence is so strong because of the fact of how many positions he can isolate with smoke and flame. It's as simple as that. He smokes off key points, making it difficult for the defenders to view through, and then the fire can to stop them from taking up those positions. It's really good. It's really effective, even if you've got a Warden on the board, because Warden is immune to smoke, but not to fire. But Jax is going to get the lead-off kill and onto the Yana.
You know what? I think Team Valor got bored there. Ice Force taking a whole minute to claim control of small tower. And, you know, Skies was on big tower just thinking, you know what, I'm going to take a fight. Cloudy, though, does take care of Skies. And now, 4 versus 4. And at this point, Valor are like, okay, maybe we should actually pay Ice Force a little bit of respect here, because we don't want to give away too many bodies. Warden especially useful when it comes to that late round. You've got to play in that highway double door, play for your life, and swing off the contact, swing expecting those throwables. Neko, though, taking down Zarok as the Habana is going to cause some issues. I do believe that the hatch had already been opened, if I'm mistaken. Then that would be a big problem, but otherwise, her job done.
Job done. Nako now just choosing to reinforce off the elbow there, blue elbow, so that the Monty can't force their way on through. Wow, Virox has just dropped the E-box hatch and he's just going to send it straight on in. He is, however, flashed, and now he's going to get smoked out, struggling to deal with the player inside pillar, and instead he's going to die to the smoke. Jax picks up a second on Tendinovic, thrown into the ditch. It's just left to Cloudy, left to clear on up for the team of Ice Force, and it's going to be a tall ask, especially when I'm hearing 2 Goyos get popped, 30 seconds left, and it's probably still maybe a few left. So it's going to be all against him here. He's going to try and use a firebolt maybe to aid himself in this situation, but it's not going to happen because Rykos is going to swing on through. The Vector Buzzsaw is going to sing and remove Cloudy's skull.
Well, that was pretty standard for Valor. They were able to just kind of win. There was very little to that. They played their positions well. Jax with a very nice little early kill, just playing a little bit aggressive up the tower stairs, giving them an early edge. Sky's lost his life maybe slightly needlessly inside of Monitor, but by that point it's 1 minute 30, and you just got to think about Ice Force's time management in that round. That was really their biggest problem. As well as that, a bit of a lack of coordination when it comes to the execute. I was surprised. Very surprised to see the drop coming through from the Flores when it did, because it wasn't really supported with anything else from anything.
Yeah.
There wasn't any denial on the wall looking towards Harry Potter, for instance, that we saw Hibana pellets latched onto but not detonated. And of course, she had been killed, and that, like, in the process of doing that, right?
I think it was a bit of a Hail Mary throw.
It's a big problem.
Like, they wanted to make something happen. They knew they needed to find bodies. At that point, throw yourself through, see what happens.
Go at the same time, at the very least. You know, like, go together.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I concur.
Yeah.
But you know, in the the spur of the moment, the time pressure bearing down on you, all that weight. Sometimes it gets to people, and people can make little slip-ups like that. They just don't, they think that, okay, I'm ready. Is anyone else ready? Oh, they must be. It's my team. Let's go.
Yeah. So we have to hope that Ice Force will grow into this matchup. They do have the benefit of attacking maybe a bit more room for error here. Cloudy on this invert repel, just watching that rotate into Closet. Does have eyes on the trophy shield as well. A couple of players playing in those positions as well. One on the trophy, one a bit further back, of course, holding Attic. Nice Force just sort of taking their time here. Very, very methodical. They don't want to make any slip-ups.
Good counter pick as well, because you've got the Valkyrie on side. What do you normally need to take when there's a Valkyrie? IQ. She's present. She's on the board, and she's got claymores, so it's going to help a little bit with that run-out potential as well, just in case Valor decide to throw themselves out of any windows. It seems that we've got a little bit of a glitch in terms of Almightis that's constantly deciding it wants to catch absolutely nothing, so I hope that doesn't annoy too many people. And we're actually going to see the IQ get some really good value here, but I'm surprised they didn't take out that mute jammer that could actually stop Ice Force from getting some good key information that they so need.
Jax maybe misreading the audio cue there, the barbed wire at the top of the stairs being triggered rather than the ones on the stairs itself. Just have the opportunity, like you say, to remove that mute jammer and cause get a little bit more progress going. Edinovic, this is one player to look out for on the side of Ice Force. Has made a little bit of a name for himself last year during the CL quals, stacked with a really scary looking stack at the time called EDS. Involved Packball, Hoshti, Doom. But nothing really came of it, and he's maybe the one that they're going to look to deliver those frags. Jax, though, is the first to find one for his side as Virox goes down. The sledge possibly spent already his nades, but Edinovic will find that immediate refrag. Player in Zulu caught out by Zarok as well. Nako goes down. Skies will find Edinovic on the refrag, though, as that skirmish on the middle floor does come out in Ice Force's favour. They have managed to even that man count to 3 versus 3, and now the site execute in the final 40 seconds can begin.
Zarok tentatively swinging back and forth, just making sure he doesn't get too caught out. Samuel, good kill onto Rise. That is a really impactful lead-off kill they've got. Now they've got the body to trade. They can look to actually see if they can sacrifice somebody to get another kill to put themselves in a 2v1. This is good for Ice Force. They just need to not throw this as we enter the final 20 seconds. Doing the last little bit of drone work, a little bit of chip damage into Skies, another bit of another factor in your favour. Zarok finding Jax. That's good. Skies left to clutch on up. He's going to swing on through and take down Samuel. It's the
No way!
And a third!
Ridiculous from Skies. You know what, though? A 2 versus 3 with Skies and Jax up, I never doubted it. I never doubted it, Warden. These guys just know how to clutch. It's in their blood. Skies with a massive 1 versus 3 there. And the shots he hit for it. Sweet Jesus. Ice Force, you are now in the in the hallowed halls of teams that have met their maker at the hands of Skies. It's a very quick growing club. I've got to say that.
I mean, Valorous definitely kind of sticking to their namesake, the amount of actual valor that is on this team that is pushing them, driving them to incredible heights in this combine. It's just been incredible. Every single time, we've said it before, there's just some kind of huge playmate from somebody that'll just save the day.
Yeah. Often it's Skies. Last game it was Rykos more often than not. He had a fantastic one, but we've finally seen Skies.
He's taking a bit of a break.
Yeah. He doesn't need to. You know.
He's worked hard today. He deserves it.
Yeah. Take a rest. Rise is doing his classic donut thing. You know, this is what he does. Yeah, that being said, yesterday he was tearing a lot of teams a new one. I do want to see the scary Rise, and we might see it this round as he opts for the Thunderbird of all operators. This is an operator that has had one of the fastest rises and sharpest declines, I think, in Siege meta history, as far as play rate is concerned. Why would you ever bring her instead of Doc now? Well, maybe Rise will show us why.
Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. We'll have to see how much value those Thunderbird medical dispensers get. However, what I'm quite interested by is on the attacking side is what Ice Force have brought. They've got actually quite a bit of a stacked lineup in terms of you've got Cutoff with the Nomad, you've got phone ringing potential on that of Virox, then you've got the Osa Shield. I think they're going to look to go try and get the meeting plant down, and they're going to use Cloudy with Ace as Selma charges to open it up, and then you've just got Edinovich on that Brava for good measure to look to try and get rid of some of those Fenrir gadgets, maybe those FNATs and any other utility that they may want to look to try and remove.
She's also holding on to smoke grenades, which could be a very key part of this execute, so do watch out for those as they come down. Ice Force just biding their time for now, trying to assess the situation, maybe worried a little bit about this vertical play and the potential of a really nasty post-plant slap back from Team Valor. Second Logic Bomb will ring out, and that's going to help and assist Zarok and co on this top floor to try and pin down these roamers, but they're playing a little bit scared, if you ask me. They need to swing off this intel. They're just waiting. Rise takes out Semmel, and that is the Ossa down for the count. Your Ossa shields that are now placed are locked in that location. Skies does take out Zarok. Missed opportunities. Edinovich takes matters into his own hands as he forces the way down Zulu to try and take some fights. Cloudy may have this long-range engagement in his side, but no. Edinovich waiting at the top as Rykos expects it, but Edinovich lands the headshot, and he may have single-handedly found Ice Force's way back into this round.
Like you said, Edinovich could be the difference maker for this team. We are going to see actually some value gained from those Thunderbird medical dispensers as Skies manages to get a new lease of life with a lot of health regained.
They are right next to each other.
It puts Valor back in with a decent shout because it's Ice Force who's a little more health-wise. Virox managed to find one. Rise, however, quickly trades it straight back to the 2 versus 2 with 30 seconds left. Rise on the triple kill. The man, the myth, the legend, the reborn man of the X-Man of Wolves, as Cloudy now has to come and try and remove the absolute demon that lurks inside the servers, but instead it's Skies with the crossfire shot over and takes down Cloudy and takes his head.
Beautiful round there from Valor. A little bit concerning in the mid-round with Edinovich doing his darndest to keep Ice Force in it, but after that, it was nice. It was a bit scary, a little bit scary to see Rise not reacting at all to a player just sort of moseying around inside of Kitchen for what felt like eons, he was just stomping about. And
he'll get to it when he can.
Yeah, it was like, that's a problem for later me, and it was, and he solved it. 2 kills, very nicely done, cleanly put down the remaining Ice Force task force, and now we are back down to the basement. 3 rounds, a perfect circuit for Team Valor. I didn't expect anything less. It has to be said that this is one of those sort of mismatches on paper. Team Valor have been exceptional throughout both yesterday and today. They've immediately cemented themselves as the team to watch when it comes to the Combine. And the funny thing is, they'll probably have Rise's old team in Wolves at the end of it to try and tackle as the end boss when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, that is a distinct possibility and would definitely be awesome to watch as Rise looks to maybe try and take down his former team with his current team. That would be awesome to watch and interesting to see. Now we're going to head back on in, and it seems like Ice Force are throwing a couple of adaptations as Team Valor have brought the same lineup as last time. No differences really made. None needed, to be honest, because of how powerful the operator lineup is from Valor. But Ice Force clearly need to make sure that they don't try and waste bodies this time. Cloudy's going to look to drone through Big Tower. They're looking like a little bit more confident, a little bit more like they're going to take the ground they need to take a little bit earlier. No messing around. I think they learned from last time on basement that they need to move a little bit quicker, a little bit more sharpish, gain that ground in order to have a fighting chance against what Valor are bringing.
Edinovic having rotated now onto the Nomad. Ooh, early kill there going Zarok's way, taking out Skies, a good player to shut out, to cool off, force him to spend a little bit of time off of that mouse. But Jax onto Cloudy, and it seems as though they've maybe missed a step here, Ice Force. Haven't cleared out Big Tower. He can hold this angle. There's no way you fight that. Don't peek him. Just don't do it, Zarok. You hold such important utility as well in these Hibana X Kairos. And the diffuser in hand as well. Wise choice to back one out. And Jax looks like... I feel like I've lost him as much as Ice Force have. Where's he gone?
He's escaped. He's completely got out of there.
What are you doing? They're going in.
Sent him on. What? They're going down, straight down Big Tower.
No!
3 bodies, C4, and immediately 2 bodies are put into a death position as Zaros managed to push himself on down. But again, he's gonna eat smoke. He's gonna eat gas. He's managed to escape, however, on in through blue. But Samuel is downed. He needs to try and get himself, but he needs to try and get him back up. He is gonna take some pressure from blue, but he gets a triple kill. He could actually manage to do this. Is he gonna save Ice Force's round for them?
Oh no.
Swing on through into the waiting arms of Jax. Jax swings through, finds a second. It's just left to Edinovic, who's just patiently Unfortunately, the man he was stalking of that of Naku manages to turn back around just in time. He could clearly sense that there was someone looking at him in an awful position, and he's going to swing back on through and claim his life. Oh, he's going to regret not firing sooner.
That was a round, I guess.
Yeah. Round and a half.
Yeah. Now Ice Force.
They lost the key operator.
They lost their heads. They lost their heads.
Yeah.
They didn't lose just the key operator. I was going to say Zarok managed to carry it back with a triple kill, but they just walked down tower stairs. That was all they did.
There's a lot of, I think, impulse decisions being made when it doesn't go to plan, and I do not think it's working out for them.
No.
Because we've seen twice when they maybe lose an operator they know they need to complete and execute, they'll try and force something. You cannot force Oregon. It never works out well. It's incredibly difficult to try and force it because of how the map is played. You have to, it's a tick box map. You've got to tick things to put yourself in that execute position, otherwise you will be punished every single time.
So far, that's exactly what's happened. Ice Force has been punished very heavily for a few. It really is only a few minor mistakes, but that is Oregon. You lose because of that. That is the nature of the beast. Nako has flexed onto the Vigil. Not really necessary, I would argue, at this point. They can play the same way they've been playing Valor and come out on top.
A little bit of fun in?
Yeah, they're maybe looking to have a little bit more fun. So let's see how that works out for him. We've got a very master heavy sided take coming through from Ice Force. No one bothering with Big Tower, no one bothering to clear it from beneath at all, from that sort of western side from Small Tower. We do have a Valk camera on the hatch inside of Garage. Nako and Skies smell blood in the water. Yellow pings coming through. Nako can quite easily take this fight at the prime opportunity. Skies causing a distraction with a bit of his, with some gunfire as an explosion will confuse me slightly. Nako pushing forward, and he does get nailed there by Virox. Perhaps playing a little bit too fast and loose, and Semel takes down Jax as well. That is the Wamai gone. Edinovic still in a position where it feels like Skies wants to pounce on him, but he's instead dealt with by the players outside main lobby. And in the meantime, Rykos felled by Semel. All up to Rise in a 1 versus 5. Big clutch moment potential, maybe?
Yeah, but like we said, we've seen it from Valor time and time again. However, it is a tall order to do, especially with Frost's SMG, as it's a very slow-firing weapon, but a powerful one at that, especially with the extended barrel slapped on. It's a damage punisher, and he's going to start it with some punishing shots off onto Cloudy, but unfortunately, Cloudy doesn't have any of it, swings through, gonna blaze in, takes down the leader in that of Rise, and will be a flawless round for Ice Force.
Well, we finally have a round from Ice Force, and it was mostly down, I would say, to Team Valor for the first time in this entire Open Qual tournament this weekend, both today and yesterday, really crossing that line. I feel as though what I've seen of them has been discipline. Real discipline, knowing exactly when to push the boat out, when to get aggressive, and when to hold back. This is a Valor in that round we saw showing disrespect. And it cost them. It really cost them. It's a difficult map to show disrespect on. Exactly what we were saying about Ice Force, where we were saying, you know, you have to tick the boxes, applies on the defense. There's not too much room to be exciting, to be flashy, to be the hero on this map. And I feel as though, you know, the Vigil and the Bout playing very far from sight, lurking around, trying to get those early picks inside of Garage. They overstepped the mark. They made themselves too exposed, put themselves in a corner, and Ice Force gobbled them up. So, well rewarded Ice Force for their persistence, but I think Team Valor, the lineup says it all. They've gone back to a bit of normality.
Yes. In that normality, they've come back to Samuel is going to be the one to watch as he's bringing the Maverick. And I don't know about you, Neri, I haven't seen Maverick in a hot minute ever since he lost his grenades.
I've seen him like once or twice on Oregon. No, on Clubhouse rather.
Yeah,
but apart from that, barely seen.
Yeah, it's simply down to, I think, his utility and the torch and the impact and the pocket EMPs and the other EMPs as well. Jax actually might have first contact here, as he's not looking the right way, as Jax just swings on through and claims a skull for his throne.
Rykos taking a little bit of damage there in the pit position, but he will back away. He doesn't need to play too aggressively here. Of course, Team Valor now have that man advantage after Jack's early efforts. That's the kind of timed and careful aggression that I'm talking about. There was very little open. You know, they hadn't opened this master bedroom door before they put someone inside of Armory, which is a bit of a mistake if you ask me. You miss the opportunity to have that cut-off set up. And so, you know, Skies has got away scot-free, or rather Jax has got away scot-free. Semel doing some drone work, clearing out the attic position as well as he can. This is very much a hark back to the olden days of Oregon, where you would have that Maverick. And of course, he's still arguably one of the best operators for this job, so you can understand why you're seeing him. Edinovich, though, in a very early engagement here with Skies, and Skies will come out on top, taking out the Nomad. 5 versus 3 now. Ice Force under the kosh, and now Nako pops up with an SMG kill from the basement. Cloudy gone. Ice Force, this is looking rough.
It is looking rough, especially when Skies is in such a good position to shut down any push from the attic that Samuel may want to try and commit to. He doesn't want to. Instead, he does actually go down the stairs and remove Skies. So, that's good work from Ice Force, but now they've still got a hell of a lot to do with a minute left. He's going to have to try and use his flashes. However, they're being quickly caught by ADSs. No. And unfortunately, on that next flash through, he's too busy sprinting as one of the bodies from Valor just swings on through and claims his life. It's now left to Zarok to try and force his way through, make something happen, but it's a tall ask with 4 players staring at a single door with not much else to do. We're going to have a player of Naku swing on through and pick up Zarok for free as he's looking the wrong way, looking just at the right second, but fortunately loses that gunfight.
I'm very disappointed that we had such a massive raid from Fresh after the semi-final. This feels like a really anticlimactic final. It's my job to hype this up. I will admit it, and I cannot do that. Team Valor are absolutely stomping Ice Force right now. 5-1, there's no way to sugarcoat it. 2 attacks. It's absolutely possible for Valor, but that is the biggest boon that Ice Force have to lean back on right now, is that they are defending. They can maybe try to control the game a little bit better. We have Semel on that cap can, putting them very deep. If we see that win a round, it will be in the last few seconds. I've never seen cap cans on that door before. That's like
yeah.
That's like gambling on failure. Why would you do that?
is a bit of a curious pick, unless Ice Force are kind of banking on a fast push from Valor, and that they haven't done their due diligence in terms of droning that out, clearing positions, and looking to try and get a bit cheeky with it, just send bodies through and try and get way through gun skill. Maybe I'm clutching at straws here, Jerry. It's a bit of a wild card pick. I'm not expecting it.
Well, maybe
but we have
Valor
seen,
won't
they
be.
have got the they have got the Valcon side, and Neku's also back on that Maverick. So we are seeing,
Yeah, we see more Maverick. Both teams employ Maverick. We want to see actually, that both teams sort of jumping back to the old meta. Everything.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, slow start here from Valor, taking their time. This is first minute of Oregon, and I regret ever talking about what's going on screen. This is where I usually just chat shit, because nothing happens. Nothing ever happens first minute of Oregon. Here we go. Skies.
Well, we've had instances where it does happen, but they're just extremely rare and normally result in one side losing pretty quickly.
Yeah. Skies is looking to get droned in here. Drake. You and me both. Oh, here comes the drone. Very nice bit of intel, and he does take out the player on the shield. Just walks on in. He's got big boots. He's feeling it. He wants to go in.
I mean, it's been cleared very quickly.
Oh, okay, Semmel. That's a bit of a big ball move as well. We've got some Cajonne waving going on between these two sides. Nice little Valk cam here is going to read into anyone coming up those main stairs or coming out of Armory. So Cloudy doesn't need to worry about watching that door. Don't know where he is.
Oh, we've got another bug. Neku as well, looking to do the work, heading towards Attic. I think Ice Force are aware. We've seen a body sent round just to watch it. Rise takes a little bit of chip damage, almost half his HP gone to one of the defenders, Zarok, who peeked out, gave a quick, cheeky little blast as we enter the final minute 30. So
very quiet.
It's all quiet on the Western Front, and it's all scores on the doors because both sides have lost one single man.
Zarok's still in a decent position, has that C4 to play for a late game, which may arise given how methodically, how slowly Valor are tackling this. Rise sends out that Selmore more for the noise cover than anything, so that he can cross. And the shotgun comes out from Cloudy, downs and finishes off Jax. But Rykos is there to clean up some of the pieces, as it looks like Valor sort of stumbling here. 2 versus 3 now. Rykos and Nako. Not often we've seen these two be the last alive. Flashes come out to the Kid Storm's position. Nako also flashing out in Hobo, but Zarok is there to deal with him from another off angle. He didn't worry about. He didn't think about that. Rykos coming is now stuck inside the Kid's bedroom, and he's going to round the corner, take out Semmel. 1 versus 2 now, but both players have just decided to go downstairs. They have 2 C4s, but he can plant on concrete. Here comes the shotgun. Oh, and there we have it. Very smart play from Zarok as he opens up the floor, finishes him off with the shotgun. Planting just a little bit further back. Maybe you've actually been the play there, but he just sped through the animation. Didn't think. And Ice Force claim a round. A very strange one at that.
Yeah, a bit unusual to say the least.
Difficult to dissect.
Things happened. People died. Yeah. Round 1. There you go. That's as simple as that's how granular we're going to be with that round, Jerry. That's exactly how granular we're going to be. We're now going to see Ice Force head to the basement defense. We haven't seen them here yet. This is going to be their first attempt at defending it,
which is surprising. That's surprising in itself, right? Because this is such a strong site, and I don't think that there was much. They brought a cat can on their dorms defense, for crying out loud. Is that part of the strat? Is that in the strat book? Seems a bit odd. So
it's not in my strat book.
No. This looks like a much more kind of standard lineup for your basement defense. Fenrir and Mirror is going to be horrific, right? You have to clear at least one of those. Otherwise, you're going to be in lots of very kind of one-sided gunfights. Jammer's going out on the top floor. Interesting move here from Zarok. So they're looking to clearly kind of create a bit of a problem. Maybe even some phantom pressure. Maybe Zarok comes downstairs at this point, or he does play it around his jammers. He has that option. Shotgun as well in the hands of the Mute means he can open up the attic attic hatch and drop down to safety if need be. It looks like he is playing his life up there for the time being. We'll see how the roam clear comes from Team Valor. They've gone very quickly. Nako coming down. Zulu already in an engagement with Semmel, and Semmel wins it out. He will fall back. Man advantage on the defense for the basement of Oregon is always a great start for you.
Yeah, and it's that of the Ash as well. So No breaching rounds being sent down long corridors to try and remove utility. No, that shield isn't going anywhere anytime soon. They're going to have to use nades, and with the Jaeger on side, it's going to make it even more difficult. So, because you're going to have to spend a lot of utility to try and get rid of them. But utility that Valor do have to spend. I mean, I don't know if you've looked, Jerry, but look at the amount of throwables that are on the side of Valor. You got 3 flashes, 4 sets of nades, 2 smokes. They definitely got the manpower to make it work. And Skies is going to quickly send himself back on down, remove a little bit of that utility of Ice Force. And yeah, they could go quick here, I think, if they play their cards right. And they could catch Ice Force off guard.
At this point, no one playing that Charla position by the bomb Shashi on the mirror as a defenders. They might want to think about getting someone there pretty soon, because as soon as the attackers get themselves set up, it's a horrible cross to make. Skies just pushes down Freezer, though. Yeah. How have they not held this? Why do you have no one on that mirror? That's ridiculous. The setup just not utilized by the 5 players on the side of Ice Force. Semmel rescuing something, and Semmel again at the triple to find those attackers. 3 players on the side of Ice Force remain in front of Rykos. We've seen him have some incredible moments today. This is probably a bit of a huge task for him to ask. Sends some shots the way of the player by the washing machine, and now knows that there may be a couple towards the pillar position. Can't really regather that diffuser unless he goes across with this nade. There is a bulletproof cam reading into his position though, Warden.
There is. And like you said, we've seen Rykos be put in these positions before and win them out, but he's taking a little bit of a break. So is he going to wake back up for this one? He clearly wants to, as he's trying to do the work, removing that utility. He managed to find one onto Virox. He finds a second, but not the third. Samuel clutches the round for Ice Force and manages to give them a little bit more hope in this Oregon matchup.
Semmel, absolute hero there. Quad for the Jaeger. And Ice Force needed it, it seemed. You know, he gave that opening frag on the freezer stairs. And after that, I was thinking, you know, Ice Force, just play the setup. You've got this. You just hold the 5 versus 4. But a huge misstep. They just did not occupy that mirror position that they set up. And the whole of Team Valor were free to walk through freezer. It was almost embarrassing for Ice Force. But Semmel, again, just rescues it there for Ice Force. 5-3. A decent scoreline, honestly. I have to say this. I was thinking, you know, 7-1, 7-0, quite honestly, looking at the way that these teams stacked up against each other. But Ice Force have actually put up a decent fight. Let's remind you that last night on the final of the Open Qualifier, it was a 7-3 victory for Calories against, for Valor rather, against Calories. So 3 rounds here from Ice Force is, you know, matching that performance.
Yes, sorry, I was chuckling away.
Yeah, I had to make my point.
No, he's great at killing people, but clearly not at killing trains as of right now. One thing as well that we thought that Adinovic would be the difference maker here for Ice Force, and in actual fact, it's turned out to be Semmel. Semmel's been doing some really good work finding those impact kills, and Adinovic has actually been pretty quiet thus far. Zarok putting in some good numbers as well. So I've had a bit of a surprise from Ice Force in terms of from what we expected, maybe not the audience, but in terms of myself and you, Jerry.
Zarok on the hard support as well.
Skies looks to go maybe in quickly again. He's got the backup in terms of there's someone waiting on the stairs to swing with him. Rise looking to step on through the garage. Begging my pardon. The Twitch sent in on first though. Rise managing to find Cloudy, baited out by the Twitch drone with Virox close by. He's going to go for the trick, but Skies sees the advantage and finds a double.
Beautiful. Absolutely incredible teamwork. Rykos collects the single kill of Adinovic, who's just wandering around there. And a flawless round as Jax cleans up. Cloudy's had enough. Cloudy's gone. What a round there from Ice Force. Jesus. All right, we will have a tech pause, of course, as Cloudy most likely didn't just rage quit. That will have been a DC. So, yeah, very, very quick stuff. Match point. Very quick round coming out from Team Valor. Nice gap in the armor that they spotted there. Just walking on in through lobby. And the duo of Rise and Skies, that they rhyme even. You know, they're made for each other. Just work in that lobby so perfectly. The initial pick from Rise and then the bait. Oh, it's so beautiful. A Selma charge goes out. You know the bandit's there. He's going to trick it. Just walk and shoot him. Excellent work. Excellent work by Skies on Rise. And
one might say he rise to the skies.
You could say that. I wouldn't say that. Well, who am I kidding? I would say that at any given opportunity. I'm a pun merchant. Definitely going to use it. Jax and... I don't know why I said Jax. Everyone on Valor's playing very, very well. That's just the theme. Yeah. This is literally the Quals experience.
It is the Quals experience, and Ice Force are being punished pretty hard against one of obviously the best teams in it so far. I think the most concerning thing from Ice Force is the fact that there's a lot of gaps, and they're maybe not using as much of the utility that they've set up for, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're setting up a lot of utility, then just not using it.
Yeah, and then when you come to the top floor hold, which we're going to see, based on this prep screen that we're staring at for a bit. As well. Yep, Cap can. It's just a little bit surprising. You know, maybe you're doing that because you've got the C4 or what have you, but you know, you've got a C4 on Valk, you've got a C4 on Mute, just use those. You don't need 3 C4s on a Dorm's defense, really, do you? It feels a little bit suboptimal. And we're harping on about it because the quality that is needed to tackle Team Valor, you can't be causing yourself any undue disadvantage, right? You have to be min-maxing your build. You have to be making sure that you bring the best possible tools for the job, because otherwise you're just nerfing yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, you want to give yourself the best possible chance against a team that has carved a path through so many, through so many good teams as well, right? And it's just, it feels like they're cutting one arm off and going, yeah, we'll try and fight like that. You've got an arm off. No, I haven't. You know,
it's but a flesh wound.
It's just but a flesh wound, and they are being punished for it quite religiously. And
it's disappointing. It's disappointing because it's the final, and you want the best possible match possible. I've done that like 3 times.
I mean, what we want is, I think, probably yesterday's final from what we saw in the semis today, which was Calories versus Valor, because
that was our semi-final. That was our semi-final. You know, it's just the way the brackets panned out, and you could point to this matchup and say the bracket has something to do with it. At the same time, though, Ice Force, they have managed to make it all the way through. Like, they have played the games that are in front of them, and you can't fault them for that. And it may be enough to put them into the Combine at this point. You know, 75 points, so making it to the final of one of these qualifiers, in theory, on paper, should be enough. So we can expect to see more of Ice Force. And, of course, there is room to grow, and there's plenty of time to grow as well. Lots of games next weekend. Lots of games throughout the entirety of the Division Clash and the Conference Clash as well. You know, every team guaranteed 8 matches in each phase should they make it there, which is a great little system. So there's room for growth and the opportunity for it too.
There is. And we're going to lead off with Valor again, taking no real, not waiting around at all, sending themselves on through the doors. A little bit of drone work being done to support, certain players that need to try and, that may be ratting in some little positions. So, for example, just the drones coming out to hate Naku, take control of Garage, make sure that there's no one down below so they can quickly take out the default cams, and a pre-placed C4 as well, also spotted out, so that will get removed as well. So a little bit of Ice Force's key utility is going to disappear quite quickly into the round. Rise throwing out a flashbang, unfortunately going to flash himself, but the Wamai disc has been burned for Skies to then throw a nade on through, almost claiming Wamai's life, but not quite. However, they have managed to force him out of trophy. C4 comes through, Skies shoots it out though, not enough for him.
What a flick onto that C4. That's actually insane. Jax gets the kill as well onto Semmel. Skies comes down the stairs, takes down Nadinovich. Nako finds Zarok. 3 kills in quick succession for Team Valor. Put them in the ascendancy here. The walk through Attic is enough to claim the one in there. And Jax will close it out onto Cloudy. Skies, in fact, with that final kill. Team Valor have just walked through this weekend, haven't they?
Yep. Yeah, curb stomped all the way through. A little bit of a challenge in the semi-finals and that of Calories, and then have just come out and shown Ice Force, well, broken the ice actually, as they're going to take Oregon 7-3 with, no real challenge there, aside from a couple of doozy little rounds. So, yeah.
Same scoreline as yesterday's final against Calories, so when it comes down to it, they know how to get 100 points. 200 total now. Try and top that. You can't. Oh, wait, maybe you can, mathematically. But whatever. It'd be a real tough ask for teams over the next weekend to try and do just the same. But I am just dead, right? Because this whole week has been non-stop quals, Warden. We started on Monday. We had a break on Thursday. But apart from that, every single day, there have been Central Combine quals of one form or another. And we're finally at the end of them for the week. That's the asterisk. There's still more. There's 2 more next weekend.
More Siege. I love it.
Siege.
More. Gimme.
Well, let's have a look at the bracket, shall we? I'm going to bring that on up. So, we have ourselves a quick looky on over at the bracket. Here it is. Open Qualifier 1 is the wrong one. It is Open Qualifier 2 that I should be clicking on. So, let's have a look at how this played out. We have our quarterfinals. We just go from the quarterfinals. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on earlier on. A lot of big teams got knocked out in the very opening of this very top-heavy bracket. It must be said. Calories and KT. Calories versus Viperio. Early games. We had a lot of big teams coming through. Sissy State Punks knocked out immediately. That's a roster I really had my eye on before the weekend, but they very much disappointed. Done Limited making it quite far, of course, but taking out M&M Academy on the way. And then you had Team Valor just mowing through everybody down here. Team 86 with a surprise early exit as well. And then we had a lot of these teams down here. This is what I mean, right? I'm scrolling past a load of teams that I know very little about, and this is the bottom half of the bracket, right? I can't name a single one of these. UCAN made it quite far yesterday, but got 7-0'd by Youngsis. Let's jump forward. We jump forward to the quarterfinals. So, round 5, White Tigers versus Calories. 7-3 to White Tigers. To Calories, who then went forward and faced the winner of Valor versus Unlimited. That's 7-1. We covered that. The first game on Villa. Outrageous defensive split. 6-0 on the defense from Villa from Team Valor. And then Calories put up a much better fight on Villa, but it wasn't enough. 7-5 there. Looking for Org and Ice Force Esports, I believe, just to double check this team. Yeah, so this is the LFO. This is the ex-Makers roster, and I believe that was actually a forfeit due to a missing MOS file or something like that. So Ice Force managing to get their way through to the semi-final there, beating Ryzon at 7-5, who had beaten Firefly. Thank you. Every time. And then, of course, those were our semi-finals. Team Valor versus Ice Force Esports. We just witnessed, and the third place match, which is here, doesn't actually happen because the points distribution is exactly the same. So Ryzon gave Calories the forfeit win, but it doesn't mean anything. Calories versus Valor was streamed yesterday on this channel, Tristan. If you're interested, we did that final. It was a really good game on Border, very exciting. We saw an ace from Skies at one point as well. I think that was the final round. That he won with an ace. It was either Skies or Jax. I think it was Skies.
And then there was also a rematch. They also had a rematch today as well.
On Villa.
Which went 7-5 and was actually a very good close game.
Yeah, that was a much better game, to be honest. So if you want to see Team Valor versus Calories and you're interested in that, watch the semi-final from today rather than the final from yesterday. Unless
I would definitely
you like
watch
Border.
that semi-final.
Yeah, the Border was... Yeah, definitely go back and watch the semi-final. Excellent game. All right, that just about concludes it. I'm done scrolling through this website for a week. Let's come back to our faces for a little bit, Warden, and just sort of close things out. I am so hot. It's 31 degrees here in London. Where are you?
I mean, I don't want to dox myself.
Okay,
in
fair
the
enough.
Midlands.
In the
In the Midlands.
It's pretty humid
in
up there as well. Oh,
yeah, it's pretty hot, but I think we've both got an advantage in terms that we've got air conditioning, so we can chill out just a little bit.
Any excuse to flex the aircon.
Yeah.
It's the thing is though is that I have to have it off during the cast because my mic picks it up. It's not like a close mic; it's a room mic, and I can't cut out the sound of the aircon. So, bit of an oversight on my part. Maybe I just get a better mic for the future, and then I can not sweat myself buckets through the end of the day. But Warden, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. I was so glad to find out that you were free. So many people were busy this weekend. I wanted to do a kind of big kind of like couch cast type thing with lots of people, but literally just everyone busy. So many people competing. We saw Drake competing earlier. I was casting with her earlier this week. Cham and Jess, they're doing like talent league. There's so much siege going on right now, and it was just great to see you come along, and I couldn't have asked for a better co. Really, really excited to hear you on the mic again. So I hope
it was a pleasure to cast with you as well. I mean, it's been, wild ride in terms of me trying to get back into casting. So it was nice to cast with someone who was familiar and I have rapport with. So it was really nice. And yeah, it went really well today. I think that all those games we casted were absolute. There was a lot of class shown. And
mostly by Valor.
I think we captured a lot of those key moments as well.
Yeah, mostly by Valor again. So many clutches. What a clutch team these guys are. Rise plus Gunners equals win. So that just about concludes everything for the R6 Central Combine Qualifier number 2. We have 2 more next weekend. We will see whether or not we cover those, but I'm sure plenty of people will be, so do watch out for those. That is going to be it. I'm Jerry the Music Man. This is Artifacts Warden over there, and he is amazing. Go give him all the follows on socials because he's an amazing cosplayer as well as a caster. He does literally everything. And that's it. I'll see you next weekend. Bye-bye.
See you guys.